It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. The Argyle Eagles and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers here in a critical district matchup here from Mustang Panther Stadium. We've got the full pregame show coming up next. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. That's 6. We're back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Mustang Panther Stadium. I'm Will Connerly alongside Tramel Jeffers. Big district battle here tonight. The Argyle Eagles coming off a bye week while Colleyville is coming off a game, well, perhaps they would rather forget. They let up what was a 3-score lead and end up falling short by a point against Mansfield Timberview on the road, but still everything in front of them here this season, and they take on the reigning champs in the district, the Argyle Eagles.
Yeah, they can really mess up the standings here tonight with a big victory. We would have a 3-way tie if Colleyville ends up getting the win today between Argyle, Mansfield Timberview, who we just saw last week, and Argyle, Mansfield Timberview, and Colleyville, a 3-way tie. So this has huge implications tonight.
Absolutely. We will break down the entire district at some point tonight. Of course, a lot to like and a lot on the line here in this matchup. And let's start with this matchup with the signal callers for both teams. Tramel, a couple of Division I commits, both guys leading their team, doing it in different ways, but let's break down this gunslinger battle of a couple of D1 commits at the quarterback position.
Starting with Argyle's quarterback, McGuire Gasperson. So far this season, he's completed 58% of his passes for 487 yards. Hasn't really run the ball a lot this year. He only has 64 rushing yards, and he's got 5 total touchdowns. And you look at his numbers compared to Bodie Weaver, a little underwhelming, but don't let that fool you at all. This Argyle Eagles offense is very explosive. They are a balanced offense, so it is a collective effort, and that is why his stats aren't very eye-popping. And let's not forget, last year, Gasperson can air the ball out for sure. He threw 31 passes. He completed 21 of them. He threw for 397 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then he also rushed for 32 yards and had 3 rushing touchdowns. So he had 5 total touchdowns in that game. So he shows you why he was the district MVP last year.
Yes, 5 total touchdowns against the Panthers last year. As we keep this graphic up here, of course, quick comment on McGuire Gasperson as well. He's a commit to play at UTSA. The reigning district MVP, as we mentioned. And one thing to watch out is it's such an explosive offense for Argyle. He's getting 14 yards per completion this season for somebody that threw for 2,895 yards last year and 27 touchdowns. The 3-year starter and the senior captain at 6'1", 195, heading to play at UTSA. Now, for Bodie Weaver, what he's done over the last couple of weeks, that has exploded his numbers, but it's also exploded a lot of excitement across all the fans for Colleyville Heritage. The all-district quarterback and UTEP commit, the senior, he's accounted for 12 touchdowns over the past 2 weeks, Tramel.
Yeah, I mean, his play has been fantastic. I mean, throwing the ball, running the ball, scrambling, throwing on the run. I mean, he is hitting and firing on all cylinders. And hopefully he can continue that momentum here this week.
Definitely for Bodie Weaver, 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns last week. He went 16 for 27, 240 in the air. He had another 127 on the ground, a couple of interceptions and turnovers for Bodie Weaver ended up being costly, but 6 total touchdowns in each of the past 2 games, and he's completing his passes at a decent 55% clip with 813 yards already in the air for Bodie Weaver. And not to mention, 348 rushing yards is great, but he's getting almost 10 yards per carry. So every time that he totes the rock, he's nearly getting a first down, getting 87 rushing yards a game. He's been a huge weapon with his legs, and that has been something that's been fantastic to see, just as you mentioned, scrambling, but also doing it on the designed keepers as well, and taking those hits, absorbing those hits. And I'm sure they're going to ask Bodie Weaver to continue to be Superman, as he has the last couple of weeks with 12 TDs in 2 games coming in.
Yeah, it's a big matchup, the biggest game of the season so far. Like we talked about, it's got a lot of implications on the line. So they're definitely going to ask a lot from him in the run game, whether it's the design runs or scrambling and taking off if he doesn't see anything.
So a pair of senior Division I quarterback commits square off tonight, both leading offenses that average nearly 30 points per game. We will step aside here on Panther Friday Night on Schradio, and coming up next, we talk to the head football coach, Jerry Edwards.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
With you on Panther Friday Night on Schradio, joined alongside head football coach Jerry Edwards. What's this week of practice been like as you try to bounce back from a tough loss on the road at Timberview last week?
I think our kids have responded and have done exactly what we wanted them to this week. They, obviously it was a game that, we caught some unlucky breaks at the end of the game, a game we were fully in control of. I thought we were dominating on both sides of the ball. And then, within a span of 2 to 3 minutes there, we just kind of made a couple of mistakes that wound up costing us the football game. And, that's part of football. Unfortunately, we've been on the good end of the luck sometimes. And the other night we were on the other end of it. And so, but I told our kids, I said, here's what you got to think is 42-20 at the end of 3. We're in control of that game. We were the team to beat. We just wound up beating ourselves. And I said, but everything that we want to accomplish is still out in front of us. We do have a very good Argyle team tonight. But if we can go out and take care of business and play like we're capable of playing, get a win, then we go right back to the top of the district where we want to be. So, you always as a team want to control your own destiny. We still do, and that's why you play 8 district games, to sort it out. Because sometimes you have bad nights, and we had a bad 3-minute span. But our kids were resilient this week, had a great week of practice. I think they understand how good they are and how good we can be once we execute to the high level.
And with the team and your message about, hey, everything in front of us, and of course tonight hinging on that as well, taking on an Argyle team that went undefeated in district play a year ago. You had it close. You had an interesting affair last year at their place where you kind of turned the tide on them a little bit, coming back late in that ball game. But for this year's matchup, what do you see when you look at the Eagles' film? I know they're coming off a bye week as well, but what are some challenges you think they're going to pose the Panthers here tonight?
Well, I think you kind of hit it on the head. I think advantage number one is they're coming off a bye week. So, all their coaches were there scouting on Friday night when we played Timberview. They've had a week to heal up and rest, and then also an additional week to study us and game plan for us. But knowing that, last year's affair, I think we got overwhelmed at the beginning of the game a little bit, but we did manage to come back in the third quarter, pull it within a point. And so what we've got to do is, continue to do what we do. We got to be efficient on offense, and we've got to move the ball and keep the chains moving consistently throughout the game, which I think we can, and we've proven that we can. Defensively, we can't get in a chaotic state. They go fast, they tempo, they get in a bunch of different formations and shift and motion, and we've worked all that this weekend. And so we just got to make sure that we slow it down in our mind and don't, get in a chaotic state and get out of alignment there. Absorb some of the blows that they're going to come out with and manage that aspect of it. And then we just got to execute in special teams. That was kind of the biggest disappointment for me from last week is typically that's an advantage for our football team is special teams. And last week we just didn't execute to the level that we're used to, and it turned out to be a disadvantage. And so those are the three phases that we got to do against a really good Argyle team. I think it's going to be a great test for both teams. Very mirror images of each other. Typically, good disciplined football teams that are not going to beat themselves, going to take care of the football, going to play physical, going to play to a high level. So it's going to come down to the team that can make the play here and there.
Argyle's got plenty of weapons, of course, that you mentioned you have to be cautious of. But on your side, coming into a game where I know it didn't finish the way that Bodie Weaver and the rest of the team wanted, but to have 12 touchdowns in a 2-game stretch, I mean, how do you describe what he's been able to do throwing and running the ball over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's a problem, and I think everybody recognizes that. Even after the game, the coaching staff for Timberview was, singing his praises. And, he's a leader. He's playing at an elite level. And when he's locked in and doing the things that we ask him to do, reading the defense, taking what's in front of him, he is. He's throwing the ball well. He's got a great receiving core that's doing a tremendous job of that. And then, the ground game's been on him. And is a tough kid, kind of got injured there a little bit late in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's fine now, but, just a warrior that's going to go out and battle and give it everything he's got.
I know last season, McGuire-Gasperson really tried to take the top off the defense. Do you feel like this is going to be a big challenge for your secondary in this matchup?
Well, yeah, I think so. If you've watched, defensively, we've been playing really well. We've given up some pass concepts, where the busted coverages are just getting beat deep. And so, obviously that's a focus every week. They got some good receivers starting with number 5, who's their main target. And so we've got to try to limit that. Last year, we did get beat on a couple balls. I thought it was good coverage. Their quarterback did a good job of putting it where only the receiver could catch it. But, we've challenged our secondary this week to make sure that we try to keep everything underneath, not let the top get taken off. But, Argyle's offensive staff does a good job of taking what you give them. So we've got to do a good job of mixing up our looks. And not let the quarterback get comfortable knowing what's open pre-snap and moving around, stemming around, trying to keep them confused throughout the night so we can limit their pass attack.
And final question, Coach. Every week I've brought up one of your linebackers, whether it's Joey Nisbet, Camden Blackson, or Dax Ebeson, but I know for a group that you coach on the defensive side as well, those guys have been so good in coverage. I think Joey Nisbet's got to be toward the top of your team in sacks and pressures, but then they're getting interceptions as well. Dax Ebeson with a pair. That group seems like they've come in and played defense just with a great attitude over the last few weeks. And how would you like to see that group continue that? And is that your evaluation of that linebacking core as well?
Yeah, it's a tough position to play, because the head coach, that's my position group. And I spend a lot of time with those guys. I'm a defensive guy at heart, and so still kind of call it defense. And those guys are the heart and soul of any defense, and you have to ask a lot from them. You got to be able to play the run. got to be able to drop. You got to be able to blitz. You got to be able to recognize formations and know the situations. But, when you got a kid like Dax who's played for me for 3 years, I mean, he knows what I want before I even say it. And then, Joey is just a student of the game, a guy that goes 100 miles an hour. He's been awesome to watch when we bring him from pressure. But he also can drop in, and I think he leads the team. Him and West are tied for the lead in interceptions. He just has a knack for getting in those windows. And then Cam's come in and did a tremendous job, holding down a very tough Willie linebacker position to play, especially in our defense. Still learning a little bit as he goes, but it's his first time, on the Friday night stage, and he's gotten better every week. And I just want to see those guys keep leading our team, keep developing, and keep being a key piece to getting off the field defensively.
Well, Coach, I know big vengeance probably on the mind tonight. Of course, homecoming as well, so hopefully the weather can hold off, unlike we had on senior night, Coach, and we can have a good football game this evening.
Well, I hope the storm comes. I just hope it's from the Panthers and not Mother Nature.
That's great, Coach. Thanks so much for your time.
I appreciate it. Go Panthers.
That's head football coach Jerry Edwards joining us on the pregame show. Coming up next, we'll give you our keys to the game. This is Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Do you have a
Back with you. It's Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Glad you're with us tonight. Argyle and Colleyville, two of the top teams in the district from a season ago. That's what's the expectation this year. Colleyville trying to bounce back from a tough loss last week. Argyle coming off a bye. And we will get into our keys to the game. I'm Will Connerly alongside Tremel Jeffers. First things first. I know it says Will's keys to the game, Tremel. Of course, we know these are for sure Tremel Jeffers' keys to the game. Let's start with number one.
Number one is help Bodie Weaver out in that run game. These last few weeks, Bodie Weaver has really carried the load in the run game. Last week, Bodie Weaver had 15 carries for 102 rushing yards. He averaged 6 yards per carry, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns. That is fantastic. But you do not want your quarterback taking so much of a toll on his body, because if you get into a close game in the fourth quarter, that's when fatigue kicks in. If he's throwing the ball and he's constantly scrambling and constantly having to carry the load in the run game. So you really want to help him out in that run game. If you look at it, last week really wasn't the case for Colleyville. Jared Wiley had 13 carries for only 26 yards. That's 2 yards per carry. And Gabe Best, he pitched in with 7 carries for 17 yards. Again, that's a little bit over 2 yards per carry. That's just not going to get the job done today. So they really have to help him out today.
And for that first key to the game, help Bodie in the run game, it's so interesting because he is so great at running the football. I mean, 10 yards a carry, one side of it is, why don't they run him more? But you have to think, A, he's your quarterback. He's touching the football every play. He's throwing it at a great rate. He's running it at a great rate. But the biggest factor of that is that really wears down your quarterback when you're asking your quarterback to run the football that much. And it's not that he can't do it. However, you just want some more options back there. So trying to get the backs more yards, because outside of Bodie Weaver last week, Colleyville really struggled to run the football. he, of course, hoping he can continue that. That's a big key to the game. But helping Bodie Weaver in that respect as well is going to be critical to control the rock and keep the ball away from McGuire, Gasperson, and the Eagles. And that goes to our second key, Trammell, with that Eagle up-tempo offense.
Oh, they love to run no huddle. They love to play fast. They don't like the huddle. They want to keep that tempo going. They love carrying that momentum going. So we're going to get into the national anthem, and then we'll come back.
Alrighty, so we got the anthem. Of course, we need that before kickoff. But Trammell, our keys to the game, we said help Bodie in the run game, number one. Number two, be ready for that up-tempo offense, as you were bringing up. They love that no huddle, and they love hitting you with a deep shot after that no huddle. So that's going to be critical tonight for the Panthers as well.
Yes, they love to run that spread offense. They want to keep that tempo going. They love carrying that momentum and hitting you with those big plays. And they have the receivers to do it. Caldwell, Bach, O'Neal, Bell. They are lethal. They are explosive. We talked about it earlier in the pregame, how the quarterback, Gasperson, is throwing for 14 yards per completion. So very explosive offense. You have to be ready for that up-tempo offense that they run because, I mean, in the losses that we have against Red Oak, they were not able to keep up with that up-tempo offense. And then last week's game, when Timberview ran up-tempo offense, we weren't able to keep up with it.
And the final key, take what they give you, because this Argyle defense, we'll see it right out of the gate as we're getting ready for kickoff right now, is that they run 3-3-6, a lot of times playing a nickel back there, and they'll have 5-6 defensive backs. They want to keep everything in front. That middle of the field could be open like we saw against Mansfield Timberview, and we're getting ready for action right now here at Colleyville.
You can go wide to tight here. Camera 3, you're on the receivers. That's good. Tighten up a little bit.
So it's Landon Dressel who kicks this one off. Argyle starting with the football, and there's a flag on the big return. A spin up the middle, up to the 50-yard line. That's Nathan Bruce on the return. It may be coming back with a flag. It's Argyle starting with the football. They're in the white uniforms with the red numbers filled in. Colleyville and the home Reds with the white numbers. So some similar uniforms for either team and the color scheme. And Colleyville starting on defense. It's a holding call that wipes away a big Nathan Bruce return, and he is for sure one of those key weapons to watch on that offense. Had 130 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns last week. This first quarter brought to you by Texas Orthopedic Associates. Trammell Jeffers, Will Connerly set up. The holding call pushes the Eagles back, so they'll be starting a 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line, wiping away the big return. McGuire Gasperson, quick hit out to Julian Caldwell, and he gets tackled at the 25-yard line by Camden Blackson. Julian Caldwell getting the first touch, 10th best receiver in the state. He just took a visit to Oregon, and his 40 offers gets 9 yards on the gain right there, Trammell.
Yeah, just a quick throw to him to open up the game. They just want to get him a touch so he can get that confidence and he can get going in this one.
So Argyle moves the TCU commit Braden Bach, the tight end, in motion. He helps protect, and Gasperson flushed out of the pocket, being chased down, and he eventually gets wrapped up. The linebacker, or the defensive end, Will Kennedy, moving like a linebacker on that play to chase down Gasperson and set up a third down.
Yeah, great pursuit on that play. Colleyville has seen a lot of mobile quarterbacks this year. We talk about Billy Middleton in that Red Oak game to open up the season. He was the most lethal and the most athletic quarterback that they were going to see this season. So nothing new for Colleyville in this one. They're going to have their hands full tonight, but I think they're up for the challenge because, I mean, they've seen the best of the best earlier in the season.
It's a handoff to Nathan Bruce, and he bursts up the sideline, upended by Will Hummer, but not before a massive gain for the Eagles running back, Nathan Bruce.
Yeah, that time is 3rd and 4. You just want to get a stop to get some good momentum going in. They hand the ball off to the running back. He takes it to the outside. The defense does not set the edge, so he picks up a big gain.
A 1st and 10 from the 45. Gasperson brings a man in motion. Has time to pass. Deep shot down the field, and a wide open man caught at the 10-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle by Eli Woolery, but not before Micah De Leon picks up a big catch. His first of the season comes in a big way.
Yeah, we talked about it. They will hit you with those explosive plays. That time, he gets beat in coverage. Woolery gets beat in coverage, and they hit us with a big game.
And looking to go back to Micah De Leon, a junior wide receiver, not somebody that really pops off on the stat sheet. Ake O'Neal, a big Division I recruit, along with Julian Caldwell, number 4 and number 5, but it's number 3, Micah De Leon, with a couple of targets early, but he drops it there. It's 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Gasperson, a handoff, big hole for Bruce, and he is tackled by Hayden West. West with 15 tackles last week. He's 2nd on the team in that category, and he chops Bruce down at the 1-yard line to set up 3rd and goal. And, of course, the Eagles going quickly. Gasperson in the shotgun, looking for the quarterback sneak. He goes, but a flag flies. Touchdown is the call on the field, but there was a flag on the play. We'll see who moved early up front, if that's the case, and if this may be coming back.
Yeah, I think this one is coming back. I saw somebody on that offensive line jump. I think this one's coming back for 5 yards.
Oh, offsides is the call. So Colleyville lined up too far beyond the line of scrimmage, and the touchdown will stand. A 1-yard rushing touchdown, the first rushing score for McGuire Gasperson this season. Colleyville, no stranger to that. He rushed for 3 scores against the Panthers 1 year ago, and the reigning district MVP puts the Eagles on the board first. It's Carter Stebbins for the point after. It's up and it's through. So Argyle marches down the field and they punch it in for a touchdown on their opening drive. They have a 7-0 lead as we take a timeout. You're watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
Do you know what makes a biscuit a Bo biscuit? There it is. Small batch biscuits, just minutes from the oven, with crunchy hand-breaded chicken. Now you know. The Carolina legend is here. If you know, you Bo.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
So a big 7-play, 84-yard drive. Argyle backed up at their own 16-yard line, but no problem. They marched down the field, much thanks to a big completion to Micah De Leon, and they go 7 plays, 84 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run by McGuire Gasperson puts Argyle in front. They throw the first punch, and now we'll get a dose of the Colleyville Heritage offense for the first time, as the kickoff is out of the back of the end zone.
Starters.
by Carter Stebbins. We'll look at the Colleyville Heritage offense. They come out there, and here's the starting lineup. Offensive line, Wes Dalio, Cubic, Gavin Cornwell, Hayes Patterson, the center, Chandler Sampson, the right guard, and Muhannad Ramadan, the junior right tackle. Also for Colleyville in the wideouts, it's Trevi Preisha, Connor Supacasey, and Landon Dressel, who had a big week last week as well. And in the backfield for Colleyville, it's going to be Bodie Weaver, Gerard Wiley, and the tight end, Blake Wendler. So 1st and 10 for Colleyville from their own 25-yard line. And Bodie Weaver to pass over the middle. And that's a completion to Trevi Preisha for a 1st down and a pickup of 14 yards.
That's been their bread and butter all season. Those slants, those crossing routes. Colleyville does a fantastic job of finding open receivers in the middle of the field. They work the middle of the field really well.
1st and 10 for Colleyville up to the 38-yard line. Trevi Preisha on the gain. He had 3 catches for a team-best 76 yards last week, and now Gerard Wiley has some space. He's up to the 44-yard line on a pickup of about 6 on the 1st down carry.
Yep, that was one of our keys to the game. Take the load off of Bodie Weaver in that run game. That's a good sign to see, picking up 6 yards on 1st down.
So it will set up a 2nd down for Colleyville. Bodie Weaver in the shotgun next to Gerard Wiley. Weaver flushed out of the pocket, has a man on the sideline, and it is
Out of bounds. No catch.
out of bounds, no catch for Trevi Preisha, looking towards the junior receiver once again.
He caught the pass, but I believe he stepped out first and then came back in bounds, which you cannot do.
So Connor Supacasey, Landon Dressel, Trevi Preisha, and Lucas Sumwall. 4 wide receivers set with Gerard Wiley the back. Bodie Weaver and company facing a 3rd down. 3rd and 5 for Colleyville. They have it at the 44-yard line. Weaver on play action. Hit to Connor Supacasey. He's across midfield, and it's a 1st down, a pickup of 7. Colleyville needed 5, and they keep the drive alive on a hit to the outside for Connor Supacasey.
Good sign so far for Colleyville's offense. That's 2 big 1st downs that they've picked up. They're showing that they can sustain a drive, and it's going to be big here on this possession.
It's Supacasey's team-leading 13th catch of the year. And now Wiley, again looking for space on the outside. And he gets just back to the line of scrimmage right there, chased down by the talented linebacker for the Eagles there. It's Max Bland, who's able to make the stop right there. Max Bland, a 2nd-team All-District outside linebacker a year ago, had over 100 tackles for the Eagles and an outstanding season for Argyle last year, saw them go all the way to the state semifinals. So 2nd and 10, Bodie Weaver back to pass. Has some space, and Connor Supacasey. He tight ropes the sideline. It's caught. And a nice connection there for another 1st down, a pickup of 11. A couple of 1st down grabs for Connor Supacasey on this opening drive for the Panthers.
Yeah, on that play, you could really see the chemistry that those two have together. There was nothing there initially, so Bodie Weaver had to scramble out of the pocket, and now you're just running the scramble drill, and he knew exactly where to go. Supacasey knew exactly where to go on that scramble drill, and they pick up a big 1st down.
Bodie Weaver on the 1st and 10. He'll keep it himself. Looks like they tried to run that read with Gerard Wiley. They weren't on the same page. He takes it himself. And he's able to make something out of nothing there and pick up a few yards up to the 34-yard line. A pickup on the play for Colleyville. A 4-yard 2nd and 6 awaits.
Yep, those are the type of runs that we're going to need from Bodie Weaver. It's going to be another tough game. He's gonna fight for his yards today.
Follow the football, Keith. Camera 2, you're up.
3 down linemen for Argyle, and it's a carry to Gerard Wiley. He has that space to the outside, getting Wiley in space, and he's cut down at the 30-yard line. Tackle made by Balik Bracey, perhaps their most talented player in the 1st-team All-District cornerback and 3-star recruit. Chops down Gerard Wiley, getting plenty of interest at the Big 12 level.
Those runs are looking really promising. It looked like Wiley could turn the corner there, but the Eagles are doing a really good job of setting the edge. That's the second time on this possession where they've set the edge really well.
3rd and 3 for Colleyville. They need to get to the 27, have it at the 30. Weaver taking it himself, and he goes to the outside, and he's pushed back right at the line of scrimmage. Nathan Bruce comes in to make the tackle. The free safety coming down, and Bodie Weaver stopped. It's 4th and 3 for Colleyville from the 30-yard line upcoming for the Panthers.
Yeah, on that play, they knew that they were in 4-down territory. They wanted to try to get something on 3rd down. They tried to do a design run for Bodie Weaver. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on that one. So now you're in no man's land. You have to go for it on 4th down.
A 47-yard try, probably out of the range of Dressel. So on 4th down, they flip it off to Gerard Wiley, and it's Argyle who reads that one. Brody Bomar, the first team all-district inside linebacker, plunges through the line and reads that pitch to Gerard Wiley well. Colleyville stopped on downs.
That time they put Gerard Wiley in motion from the receiver position on the outside. They pitch it to him, and the Eagles defense just comes around and they swarm him and they swarm to the football and they force a turnover on downs. Not the drive that Colleyville was looking for to open up the game.
So Argyle takes over on their own 30-yard line, and a carry here to Logan Rexroth. He has plenty of space down the sideline. He's pushed down at the 25 by Will Hummert, but a huge run there for Logan Rexroth, the junior running back.
And that time, the Eagles just run a simple counter play. The guards pull, they bounce to the outside, and they get great blocking up front, which allowed him to get to the outside and pick up that big gain.
And here comes that no huddle. McGuire Gasperson, empty set, 5 out wide, and he hits Logan Rexroth. That's caught. He turns up the field for a 1st down. A pickup of 15. It's goal to go quickly for Argyle. They're up to the 8-yard line.
And just like that, they are right there in the red zone. This offense is so explosive, and this is why they were the district champions last year.
So Colleyville stalls on their opening drive at Argyle's 30, and they're quickly at the doorstep again. Hit to the outside. It's hauled in by Watson Bell, and he is chopped down just inside the 5. Watson Bell, perhaps the best running back in the league last year, had 1,329 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns, making a play with his hands there. And it's 2nd and goal. Handoff inside to Rexroth. And Colleyville able to make the tackle just at the 1-yard line. So Argyle with another 3rd and goal from point blank. Last time it was McGuire Gasperson who rushed it in on a quarterback sneak. We'll see what's in the works here.
You'll probably see the same play. They're right there at the 1-yard line. I don't see why they don't run the same play. It worked on the last drive.
It is Gasperson in the gun, standing next to Logan Rexroth. Rexroth on the carry, and he walks into the end zone untouched. 6 more on the board for Argyle, and they have a 13-0 lead in the opening quarter. 4:07 to go, and it is the Eagles who punch it in for 6 on their first 2 drives. Carter Stebbins waiting for the point after. Logan Rexroth, a 47-yard run set up this drive. And it's really been 2 big plays tonight for Argyle. The point after is good. It's 14-0. It was Micah De Leon who had a 49-yard catch that led to a 1-yard QB sneak for McGuire Gasperson on Argyle's first drive. There it's Logan Rexroth who goes big down the field for 47 on their first play of the drive. And Rexroth punches it in as well. A 2-yard or a 1-yard rushing score to make it a 14-0 lead. So Argyle's come out hot. They look well rested off their bye week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too easy for them. Those big explosive plays get them down the field so quickly. And then on that last drive, they hit you with the 47-yard run. Then Colleyville just plays too soft in coverage. And the Eagles took advantage of that. They just threw those quick passes, and they pick up 9 yards here. Then they get another 14-yard completion because you're playing so soft. And next thing you know, they're at the 5-yard line. And then they get another play. They get to the 1, and then boom, they punch it right in for 7 or for 6. And they're up 14. So the defense really has to stop that fast tempo offense. We can't give up those big explosive plays, because if that's the case, they're just going to be able to run and do whatever they want to do. This is the type of offense that they want to run. They're very comfortable right now. They're not uncomfortable, and we have to change that.
So 3 explosive plays already. Explosive plays over 20 yards. They had a 49-yard pass on their first drive, Argyle did, and a 20-yard run. They have a 47-yard run on that second drive. And it set up the score after Logan Rexroth had the big run. So a couple of big 20-plus yard runs, one of 22, one of 47, and a big 49-yard completion as well. So Argyle's big plays have been in the works. That ensuing kickoff is out of bounds, so Argyle will be penalized for a second time on special teams, and it will set Colleyville up at their own 30-yard line. Now, the Panthers put together a solid drive last time out. They went 11 plays, 44 yards down the field, a couple of key third down conversions, but they got stopped up on fourth down, and now their offense comes back out for a second time, and they're down 14-0. Bodie Weaver keeps it himself. He has some space up the field, stays on his feet, and he spins across the 45-yard line, but the ball is ripped out. Argyle does recover, but the officials say he was down. Colleyville dodges a bullet right there, nearly turned it over on what was a brilliant run of 24 yards, and it stands as he was down after the pigskin popped out for a moment. So 1st and 10 for Colleyville after the big run by Bodie Weaver. He hits Trevi Prysia, and Prysia loses the football as well. That's forced out by Sager Zamzo, the senior defensive back, but luckily for Colleyville on that occasion, the ball goes out of bounds. It'll set up 2nd and short on the completion.
Yeah, that's got to be a concern now. That's back-to-back plays where the ball has hit the turf. One goes out of bounds, and then the other one he was ruled down. But you got to hold on to the football, especially in this type of game with all these implications on the line.
2nd down, 3 yards to go for Colleyville. Bodie Weaver tries to hit a tight window, and he does somehow.
Wow.
Finding his man, Lucas Sunwall. Bodie Weaver threads the needle. That's a 1st down up to the 30-yard line.
Wow, a very dangerous throw. It was never open, but somehow he was able to squeeze it in. He's looking to his right. He sees his first read. He goes with it the entire time, and somehow that ball got through, and he makes the tough catch. What a nice throw by Bodie Weaver. It was dangerous, but it was nice.
Weaver with precision. Gabe Best now the back. They fake it to him, and Best wide open on the wheel route. He'll run into the end zone. A 30-yard score, and the Panthers are on the board. Gabe Best on the reception.
That is the spark Colleyville needed. Trailing by 14, the offense was looking a little stale, a little stagnant. They were moving the ball a little bit, but we were missing those big explosive plays, and there it goes right there. Colleyville hits it. Gabe Best out of the backfield again on a wheel route, and Colleyville is now down 1 score.
Gabe Best lined up in the backfield. They sent him out in motion, as they have with Gerard Wiley. Those both, it looks more like a tandem in the backfield now. Wiley getting a lot of the carries early on in the season. Best being worked in a little bit more. And you see why this Colleyville Heritage staff, his 2nd reception of a touchdown this year, was so excited for the junior running back here this season. Gabe Best, he had a catch for 11 yards last week. A 30-yard reception right there. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season, 2 receiving, 1 rushing, but a 30-yard score that makes it a 1-score game, and the point after pending here from Landon Dressel. Landon Dressel been really solid on PATs in his career. 32 of 34 in his career on points after. 14 of 15 this season. But wow, Gabe Best motions out in the backfield and just wheels it down. The misdirection, the offensive creativity makes it a 7-point game after the PAT is good. Landon Dressel splitting the uprights. What can you say? That play you break down right there, Trammell. Gabe Best in the backfield. Bodie Weaver, he looks to his left. Pressure comes, and Best was wide open. What a great design.
Wide open. Great design and great disguise by Bodie Weaver. He's acting like he's going to throw it to his left. The defense is fooled by it. It's a busted coverage, and Gabe Best is wide open. And he gives Colleyville that big spark that they really needed.
And it was a 4-play, 70-yard drive that was capped off by a 30-yard touchdown pass from Bodie Weaver. This opening quarter brought to you by Texas Orthopedic Associates here in this opening quarter. Panther Friday night by Tradio. But that drive really, for Bodie Weaver, if we go back to that drive, Trammell, Mr. Weaver on the season now, he's continuing to light it up. If you haven't followed us the last couple of weeks, Bodie Weaver came into this game with 6 touchdowns in each of the past 2 games. That's his 13th touchdown through the air this season. And he started the drive off with a 24-yard run. Then he found Trevi Preicha on a nice completion, Lucas Sunwall on a brilliant completion, and then all of a sudden he finds Gabe Best, and the Panthers go short on this kickoff, and Julian Caldwell makes the grab right there, the standout wide receiver at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he played it safe on that one. He just wanted to fall on the football and make sure nothing crazy happened. But yes, Bodie Weaver is playing fantastic. 13 touchdowns in the last 3 games. We still have 3.5 quarters left to play. I can't wait to see what he has on display for tonight.
That's one thing as well for Argyle. One of the best players in the district, Watson Bell, didn't play much the first couple of weeks, just a few receptions. People forget he had 20 rushing touchdowns a year ago, but the Eagles' rushing attack with Nathan Bruce and Logan Rexroth has looked pretty good early on, and it is a hit to De Leon on the outside again, and he's breaking up the field, cut down at the 50-yard line by Will Hummer. Another explosive play, the 4th play of 20 or more yards tonight for Argyle, and they want to continue to go quick.
Those RPOs and Colleyville playing off coverage. It's just too far off, and they hit you with those quick, short passes.
Gasperson, empty set, gets rid of it quickly, and it's Julian Caldwell, who's forced out by Hayden West. Caldwell on the reception. The 4-star wide receiver has 4 touchdown catches this season. They came all in the season opener for Julian Caldwell. He's got 16 catches for 374 yards. And again, those 4 TDs that came in week 1, but he's getting 23 yards per catch and a little misdirection here in the backfield. Argyle with plenty of space up the field and rushing all the way to about the 17-yard line. Again, it's Micah De Leon, another weapon that's being introduced to this Argyle offense tonight. Didn't see action really in the first couple of games for Argyle. Again, they're 2-1, a bye last week. And he, along with Watson Bell, some other weapons, not to mention the known commodities of McGuire Gasperson and, of course, Julian Caldwell, not to mention Ake O'Neal as well. So 1st and 10, McGuire Gasperson. He's looking for Ake O'Neal, and it's incomplete. He looked for the fade, but the coverage was good there by Colleyville's defensive back, Eli Woolery back there.
Yeah, that time Eli Woolery had great leverage on the play. The route was never there, and he just has to kind of sail it out of bounds and live to see another down.
The back is now Obadiah Goebel. And Gasperson going to give it off to Goebel. And Blackson gain tackles Goebel not till he gets up to about the 13-yard line where they're going to mark him. It's going to set up a critical third down here.
That's a big win on second down. That's the first time in this game the Panthers defense really got to stop on second down and force them on a third and long. So let's see if they can get a stop here because they've been hit with the big plays. They really haven't seen a 3rd and 5 today on defense.
Third down, 5 yards to go. 1:40 to go in the opening quarter. Logan Rexroth, the running back. McGuire Gasperson brings a man in motion. Gasperson looking toward the end zone. The pass rush comes. Intended target and is nearly a brilliant interception by Hayden West. He breaks it up in the end zone instead. That'll set up 4th down.
Wow. What a play by Hayden West if he could have came down with that one. But great stop for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers defense. They needed it. And now the Eagles are going to have to suffer and settle for 3. Look at Hayden West on this replay. He gets his hand out. It actually comes to him. He tries to get it with one hand. He just couldn't get enough on the football. But great play and great stop.
30-yard field goal try for Carter Stebbins. It is converted, so the Eagles do put points on the board on each of their first 3 drives, but held to a field goal there. Hayden West in coverage. They were looking for Watson Bell in the end zone. West comes in nearly an acrobatic interception. Instead, it's 4th and 5, and Argyle opting for the 30-yard field goal. Carter Stebbins does convert, and it is a 17-7 ball game.
Yeah, big stop. You're still in it. You're down 2 scores now, but that is the stop that you needed. And let's see what this Panthers offense can do when they get back on the field. They have some momentum going. I mean, they've really been moving the ball the entire game. It was just that first drive that got stalled on that 4th and 3 where they handed the ball off and they came up short.
So Jerry Edwards and Todd Rogers, the coaching matchup tonight. Jerry Edwards, he's 22-7 in his career at Colleyville. Spent a decade over at Harker Heights before coming over to Colleyville. And one thing they've done well in his tenure, play well at home in district play. Colleyville is 8-0 in home district games under Jerry Edwards, trying to keep that unblemished resume at home in district play tonight. Meanwhile, Todd Rogers, he started at Argyle in 2003. He has 259 wins, 15 district titles, 21 playoff appearances in that time. And, of course, they won the 2013 and 2020 state championship as well, as that is brought out at the 1-yard line here by Chase Gibson. Gibson with some space. He continues to run up the field. Chase Gibson with just one man to beat. He's forced down at the 37-yard line. And speak of explosive, Chase Gibson gives it to you right there.
Oh, just great blocking on the back end. And then Hayden West comes through. He hits a nice block on the sideline. But we were just a little bit too close to the sideline, and he ran out of room there.
Huge return for Colleyville. You go back to a week ago, they were really hurt. They let up a 100-yard kickoff return in the 4th quarter. And after being up 42-20, they end up losing 43-42 in a heartbreaking loss in a last-second field goal. But the kickoff return there, huge for Chase Gibson. Colleyville starting in plus territory. Bodie Weaver brings his tight end Blake Wendler in motion. Pressure coming. It's out here to Wiley, and he is tackled from behind. Coming in to apply the blow right there on the stop for Argyle. It's Cabe Mobley on the tackle. A big loss on the play.
Here's that replay of the kickoff. He takes it. He has great block in there. He takes it down the sideline. He gets Colleyville in great field position. But on that first down, you lose 5 yards, and you just can't afford to do that. That has been a big stain for the Panthers in their losses.
So 2nd and long, Bodie Weaver moves outside the pocket, looks to Trevi Prycia. A holding call against Colleyville is going to make this 2nd and 25. That was the early indication. We'll see whether they mark that penalty. The flag flew in the backfield, and it clearly looked like a holding call against Colleyville. We'll wait and see what the official indicates here tonight. So the 3rd drive for the Panthers, and it is a holding call against Colleyville, so they'll back up even more with 36 seconds to go here in quarter number 1.
So great field position just turned into now you're back in your own territory. You can't afford those type of mistakes. First, you lose 5 yards on first down, and then you get hit with a 10-yard penalty on the next down. It's just shooting yourself in the foot. You can't do that tonight, especially against a great football team.
So 2nd and 25. Don't have to get it all back here. Weaver, he'll step up in the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field, and he gets chased down. Huge pursuit there by Argyle's Max Bland. 6'3", 245, all-district linebacker chasing Bodie Weaver. And now it sets up a 3rd and a mile when we come back. That's the end of the opening quarter. Argyle punches it in on their first 3 drives, and Colleyville will try to keep the drive alive, but they face a 3rd and long when we come back.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business, or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all accounts subject to approval.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
We're back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside Tremel Jeffers. I'm Will Connerly. As we start quarter number 2, Colleyville has the football, but they face a 3rd down and long. This second quarter brought to you by Compass Church. And thank all our great sponsors here on Panther Friday night on Tradio, and Colleyville looking for greatness. Can they convert a 3rd down? 20 yards to go. Bodie Weaver hit towards the sideline. It is complete. He finds his man, Connor Supacase. Going to be shy of the line to gain, but pick up a lot there on 3rd and long. It'll set up 4th and about 8 for Colleyville. Good completion by Bodie Weaver, who has been sharp tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's been really sharp, and he and Supacase have that great connection. Again, they connect on the sideline, and now that completion there allows Colleyville to go for it on 4th down, as now they are in no man's land. It was looking like they were probably going to punt the football, but now they have an opportunity to go for it.
So 4th down and 8, Bodie Weaver. Throw over the middle, looking for Landon Dressel. It's incomplete, and Colleyville turns it over on downs for a 2nd time tonight. So first drive, they turn it over on downs. Second drive, a 30-yard touchdown pass to Gabe Bess. There on 4th and 8, they turn it over on downs, and Colleyville surrenders the football in field position to Argyle, who will take over at their own 36-yard line.
That Eagles defense, they're getting in the backfield, and they're putting pressure on Bodie Weaver. On that play, Bodie Weaver has to scramble to his left. He had a wide-open receiver, but he just underthrew him a little bit and threw it low. And you just can't have those happen on 4th down.
Logan Rexroth on the carry, and he gets to the second level of the defense and more. Rexroth, plenty of space, being chased down by Chase Gibson, but not before he gets to the 27-yard line. And the Eagles going no huddle. They want to go quick, as you noted, Tremel.
Those big plays. Rexroth in the backfield just zigzagging and bobbing and weaving. He picks up a huge gain on 1st down.
And it's another carry to Rexroth. Camden Blackson in there to combine on the tackle with Dylan Hammond, but not before another quality gain. That one between the tackles. That'll set up 2nd down after a pickup of 6 yards. Gasperson, another handoff to Rexroth. Rexroth being stopped up at the 20-yard line. Looks like the ball may have been loose for a moment. They'll say Rexroth did hang on to the pigskin. He did indeed. It'll set up a 3rd and short for feeding Rexroth on this drive. He and Nathan Bruce have gashed Colleyville for some big runs tonight. Rexroth coming into this game, leading rusher on this team, over 7 yards a carry. And it sets up 3rd and 2 from the 19-yard line. So Eagles in scoring position once again. Their 4th drive. They've had points on each of their first 3. 3rd and 2. Another handoff to Rexroth. And he breaks through for a touchdown. That's Nathan Bruce, But he goes in for the score, and it's a 19-yard rushing touchdown for Nathan Bruce. And Argyle continues to add on another big run, this time from Nathan Bruce for 6.
Yep, right up the A-gap. Just too easy. Then he bounces off a tackle. He shakes off a tackle and gets an easy walk to the end zone. I mean, just explosive plays in the run game. I don't even think they threw the ball on that possession. Just dominant on the run game. The offensive line is doing a great job blocking, and they're really imposing their will and showing how dominant they are.
Well, the drive started for Argyle taking over on downs, and then immediately Logan Rexroth goes for 37 yards. He has another big carry. They sub him out, and then, oh, by the way, they have Nathan Bruce as well, who's moved to running back this year, and somebody that, he was their punter last year. He had 85 tackles, now running back as well. He's in the kick return, really does everything. He had 130 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. Again, they had a bye last week, and he adds a score on right there, so... And another big run, he punches it in. After Rexroth started the drive on the ground, they kept it on the ground with Nathan Bruce, and now a 24-7 lead here in the first half for Argyle.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. The previous possessions, the Eagles were really hitting Colleyville with the passes, and now they found another way to hit Colleyville, and it's with the run game. So now the Eagles are pretty much doing whatever they want to do on offense so far. So Colleyville is going to have to make some type of adjustment as they are down 3 scores now, trailing 24-7.
You have some confidence with this offense. 3 drives for Colleyville, 1 touchdown. The other 2, they got stalled, and turnover on downs is in Argyle's territory. And the fair catch call, that's going to be at the 27-yard line where Blake Wendler made the grab. Marked him at the 28, but they don't want to kick it deep to Chase Gibson after what he showed on the big return last time. It didn't turn into points for Colleyville, but now they have to play catch-up on the scoreboard, down 24-7. Offense has moved the ball. This is their 4th drive.
And one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to get pass happy. The Eagles have gotten pressure on Bodie Weaver. You want to get the run game going as well. It's not too late.
Weaver looking for the pass down the field, and it's there. Huge play for Colleyville. That's Connor Supacase all the way up inside the Eagles' 30-yard line.
Right down the seam. Connor Supacase does it again. That is his bread and butter. Those streak routes right down the middle. He makes big plays every single week.
And now Gerard Wiley, a little hesitation in the backfield. He picks up just about a yard on the play. Is Argyle ready after the home run shot to Connor Supacase? Gerard Wiley stopped up, and Argyle ready for that one. 2nd and about 9 yards to go on the play. Colleyville has it at the 27-yard line, trailing 24-7. Weaver out to Wiley, makes one man miss, and spins to about the 25-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and about 6 upcoming here for Colleyville after the completion to Gerard Wiley. They want to get him going in the passing game. He had 6 receptions a week ago.
Yeah, they want to get him involved in that receiving game. They want him to get it going in the run game as well, but if he's not able to get it going, you still want him touching the ball because good things always happen. So why not get it to him in space as a receiver as well?
They tried it right there, and now third down for Colleyville. 5 yards to go. Weaver in the gun. He moves Wendler, the tight end. Weaver going to step up in the pocket, and he gets wrestled down at the 25-yard line, a loss of a yard on the play. Weaver could not take off right there. It sets up another fourth down. So Colleyville, it's their fourth drive. Their first drive, they were stopped on a turnover on downs, and their third drive, they had a touchdown on their second drive, so trying to avoid a turnover on downs for the third time in 4 drives to begin the game, but they face a 4th and 7 here. Weaver has time, looks sideline. It is caught, and that will be a first down. Lucas Sunwall with a big reception by the sideline, and Colleyville keeps the drive alive.
Yes, that time the Eagles, they've been running cover 2 pretty much the entire game. Bodie Weaver sees it, and he's looking for something at that last second on the right sideline, and it comes alive for Colleyville as they pick up a big first down.
So 1st and 10 for Colleyville. They have it at the 17-yard line. Sunwall, touchdown grab! The standout sophomore scored in 4 straight games. And what a beautiful grab for the score. Colleyville answers on offense.
Oh, my gosh. Lucas Sunwall. Nice throw by Bodie Weaver. He floats it up in the air. Sunwall grabs it, high points the football, comes down with both feet in the end zone. Big, massive catch for the Panthers, and they are back in this ball game.
5 touchdowns in the last 4 games for the standout sophomore, Lucas Sunwall. And the point after converted. He may be just a sophomore, but Lucas Sunwall is making moves in the receiving game. What a beautiful grab for number 18. And it's 24-14. Colleyville's offense answering. 4 drives tonight, 2 touchdown passes by Bodie Weaver, and then 2 that have ended in Argyle territory with turnovers on down. So they've moved the football on every drive. And right there, what a beautiful pass to Lucas Sunwall. It goes for 18 yards. And this sophomore, man, he is heating up. Samir Johnson goes down early in the season. Your all-district receiver, leading receiver coming back. And Lucas Sunwall has stepped up, and he has stepped up in a big way. One-on-one coverage right there, and it was not too much for the sophomore, as you pointed out. High points the football, and he goes in for the score for 18 yards.
Yeah, this entire wide receiver core has really stepped it up. Coming into the season, your number 1 receiver only had 378 receiving yards last year. Not really a lot. So we were kind of wondering who's going to be the guy to step up, and it's been the entire core this year.
Lucas Sunwall, your leading receiver here this season, his 5th touchdown of the year. The brilliant sophomore wideout. I think some people are starting to take some notes on his abilities. And Lucas Sunwall with a beautiful grab, had 2 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown last week. And now, as we mentioned, 5 touchdowns for Lucas Sunwall, all coming in the last 4 games, 4 straight weeks with a score. And now the question is, can Colleyville get a stop? Argyle now gets the ball for a 5th time. They've put points on the board on each of their first 4 drives, and they start from the 25. McGuire Gasperson throws it, and it's wide open for the tight end, Braden Bach, and the TCU commit lowers his shoulder across the 50-yard line. A pickup of 25 and another explosive play for Argyle. They're right back into Panther territory.
Yeah, just like that. And Braden Bach is so talented. That's exactly why he's going to TCU. He just always finds ways to get open.
It needs to be on him.
And a handoff and some space, breaking some tackles and moving to the outside and inside the 30-yard line right there on another big run for Nathan Bruce. He had a 19-yard touchdown run last time. he touched the ball, and there, another big run puts them just outside the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. And the Eagles going no huddle, put it right back into the chest of Nathan Bruce. Edge is set for him, and he cuts up the field down at the 11-yard line. And the Argyle Eagles are running the football with authority here in this game.
Yeah, Bruce is getting whatever he wants. He's getting untouched for a good 10 to 15 yards, and then when he is touched, he's breaking off tackles. I mean, he's getting it through the A and B gaps, around the edge. I mean, he's getting whatever he wants. It's just too easy for him. Colleyville has to find an answer. They need a big stop here in the red zone.
24-14, the score. Argyle on top. Their 5th drive of the game in progress right now. Colleyville calling a timeout, just trying to slow down some of this momentum and literally slow down Argyle. You pointed out, and it was evident in the film, for how many explosive plays they get, they almost come back every single time with a quick run just to try to catch what is a gas defense, just trying to get back in position. They try to gash them with a run immediately after their explosive plays, and they've had 6 of them now tonight of over 20 yards.
Yeah, so that possession there, I mean, they do no tempo just to gash you up the middle, make those defensive linemen tired. And then when they want to throw the football, they don't allow you to substitute and get those extra different packages out there on the field. So they find different ways to exploit you on offense. This is why they're so balanced. We mentioned that earlier in the pregame.
So a 1st and 10, football at the 11. And Gasperson handoff to Nathan Bruce, and he's eventually brought down by Joey Nisbet. This linebacking core really going to be challenged tonight because every time a back touches the ball, it feels as though they're plunging right through the line to the second level, and it's going to be on the linebackers to limit those gains. A limited gain there, just 3 yards. 2nd and 7 awaits. And they hand it to Bruce once again. He cuts back up the field and turns around the 5-yard line, gets up to the 4. And so Nathan Bruce being fed on this drive. A huge 3rd down awaits.
Yeah, big carry for Bruce. It was nothing there on that left side. He just hits a nice jump cut, and he almost got in the end zone. He just showed you why he's so talented.
Another handoff to Bruce, and he runs into the end zone. Nathan Bruce picking up where he left off a couple of weeks ago when he went 130 yards on the ground and 3 scores. That's his 2nd score tonight. Argyle already with 30 points on the board. Another touchdown. They've scored on each of their first 5 drives, and they're putting on an offensive clinic tonight. Unbelievable. Colleyville unable to stop this Eagles attack right now.
Back-to-back drives where they don't throw the football. That is 10 straight runs. And the Eagles are just saying, we're better than you. We're going to run the football, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. We're not going to stop running the football until you do something about it. And that's going to continue until Colleyville makes some adjustments and they get some stops.
So 31-14, it puts pressure back on the offense. They've been continuing drives. Lucas Sumwall just had a touchdown grab. If you can find a way to put it into the end zone, you can make it, again, a 10-point game. And just the biggest question playing catch-up tonight is, can you stop Argyle? And the answer so far has been no. 5 drives they've had tonight, and they've put on 4 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, you can't go into halftime down 17. You can't. You have to go down at least 10 points. You have to make it a 2-score game going into halftime. So this drive here will be crucial. And then depending on how much time is left, it's really going to be key here on this drive.
Yeah, absolutely is. And another thing to note, and I know there's 6 minutes left, and neither team has really needed much time to score. Another short kickoff, and it is fielded by Connor Supacase. And he is pushed down around the 31-yard line where Colleyville will start. But the other thing is, Trammell, Colleyville will start with the ball in the second half. So if they can parlay a touchdown here, make it 31-21, and then get the ball to start the second half, now we're talking about a ball game, but a lot out in front of them as well, because it hasn't been easy for Colleyville on offense, but they have been able to move the football. On the other side for Argyle, it's been easy when you almost have 400 yards of offense in the first half, and that's what Argyle is having right now.
Yeah, they have to find something.
And they do find a big run up the middle here. Gerard Wiley absorbs the hit before he is taken down at the 40-yard line, but a nice pickup there of 8 yards for Gerard Wiley on the rush, and he's a little bit shaken up on the play. He gets helped up by his offensive lineman, Wes Dalio-Cubic. The left tackle also heading to UTEP with Bodie Weaver. Those two pledges going to the next level in a battle between a lot of Division I talent on the football field tonight. Lucas Sunwall, the solo receiver, to the near side. Landon Dressel, Connor Supacase to the far side. Blake Wendler, the tight end. Gabe Bess, the running back. And Bess now has some space. And he gets slammed down to the turf. That's Sager Zamzo on the tackle, but not before Colleyville picks up a first down with 5 and change here in the second quarter.
That's a confidence-boosting run right there by Gerard Wiley. There was nothing there on that play, but he was able to pick it up. Best.
And now Weaver looking to go over the top there to Landon Dressel. It's incomplete, but a flag flies in late. Looks like we may be getting a late hit on the quarterback. Coming in there was Callum Owen at the end of that play, and that could add on 15 yards. Both teams picking up penalties tonight.
It's been a pretty disciplined game for the most part.
And it is going to be personal foul, roughing the passer against Argyle, so that will push Colleyville 15 yards forward with just over 5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Critical drive right now for the Panthers. A touchdown could make it just a 10-point game, and they do receive the ball to start the second half. And they hit it there to Dressel, who turns up the field. And a quick completion out to number 14, Landon Dressel, who had 3 catches for 63 yards last week and a touchdown. His best game receiving. And a pickup there to make it 2nd and 5.
He's been a little quiet today, and I feel like that play there was just to get him involved so he can build his confidence and get him going in this one.
Wendler going in motion. Weaver rolling out. And he almost finds Wendler, but it's incomplete. Weaver, as he was rolling out to the right, had a wide open tight end, but unable to grab that, and it's 3rd and 5 for Colleyville.
Yeah, the scramble drill again. Bodie Weaver scrambles to the right, has a wide open tight end, but he has to throw it across his body, and he throws it behind him. If we can get that catch, there's a lot of green turf there. He probably could have got it in the end zone.
So 3rd and 5 for Colleyville. Weaver gets it out to Gabe Bess, and he is forced out of bounds by the linebacker Maxwell Bland, and it sets up another 4th down for Colleyville. They have 2 touchdown drives tonight. They've been stopped on 4th down twice tonight. And now a 4th and about 3. Gabe Bess comes off. The tight end Blake Wendler comes in. So it'll be Blake Wendler, Landon Dressel, Connor Supacase, Trevi Preicha, and Lucas Sunwall. 4 receivers and a tight end for Bodie Weaver on a 4th and 3 from the 33. Weaver, quick, there. Landon Dressel makes the grab, and it's a 1st down. So Colleyville converts, keeping the drive alive. If anything, that's huge to keep the ball away from Argyle, but a big completion there by Weaver.
Yes, and that time he's going to run a nice little crossing route. The defense was playing soft for the Eagles, and Colleyville took advantage of it.
Weaver, time in the pocket. He has space to run. He'll tuck it and run. And hesitates before he lunges across the 20-yard line. A pickup of 6 there by Bodie Weaver.
Nice run by Bodie Weaver. Nice hesitation fake there. Almost got away. But the Eagles are doing a really good job of containing the runs that Bodie Weaver has. They're not letting him break out for those large gains like we saw last week.
3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second quarter. 2nd and 5 for Colleyville. Gabe Bess is the running back. And timeout called here by Argyle. And we'll step aside as well.
Do you know Carolina flavor? That's it. It's Southern, but with a little oomph in it. Now you know. The Carolina legend is here. If you know, you bow.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. Number 1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
27 plays tonight. Argyle already has 346 yards of offense. They have a 31-14 lead. They just called a timeout as Colleyville faces a 2nd and 4. And a handoff to Colin Bennett, the running back. His first look since the game against the Colony, where he looked like a standout in the fourth quarter of that game. And he has a carry there for a first down. 3.5 to go in the first half. And Colin Bennett, the running back, doing some duties. Trammell, we saw some flashes of that in that final quarter against the Colony. Now Bodie Weaver looking end zone, and what a brilliant grab, but it's incomplete. Unable to complete that catch to the ground was Connor Supacase. Would have been acrobatic if he could have hooked up for the 16-yard touchdown grab. Bodie Weaver put it in a good spot, but unable to pull down that one in the end zone for Connor Supacase.
Yeah, the end zone was just a couple inches wider. That's a nice touchdown grab, and we'll see that all over social media and even on the television.
Well, 2nd down and 10. Colin Bennett, the running back once again. And Bennett going to get the carry, trying to run in between the tackles, and he does pick up about 4 tough yards when Colleyville hasn't had much. Again, their running backs, outside of Bodie Weaver, just the running backs last week, got about 2 yards a carry. That was Gabe Bass and Gerard Widley. So now Colin Bennett getting a shot. He picks up about 3 on the play. 3rd and 7 upcoming from the 13. You feel Colleyville really needing points on this drive with about 3 to go until the half. And Weaver looks toward the end zone, and what a great grab there at the 2-yard line for Trevi Prycia. Bodie Weaver on fire tonight. And it's 1st and goal for the Panthers.
That time, Bodie Weaver, he's got that flanker route to the corner. If he throws it with a little bit more power, that's a touchdown. But it's important that Colleyville picked up that first down because they were facing another 3rd and long. Good pickup for the Panthers, and they have an opportunity to pounce in the red zone.
So Bodie Weaver takes the ball himself, then back of the end zone, wide open, Blake Wendler. What a brilliant design. Colleyville from 2 yards out has a touchdown. Weaver to Wendler, and it's 31-20.
Great execution on that play. The ball fake. The defense keys in on the run. All the focus is on the run. And Wendler just sneaks in the back, and he's wide open and gets Colleyville back into this ball game.
This game unreal right now. If there was an over or under in this game, Trammell, The over is, whatever it was, is looking friendly. It's 31-21. We're still in the first half. 2:33 to go in quarter number 2. Argyle to get the ball back, and this is a massive drive for the Colleyville defense because the Eagles, 27 plays in the first half so far. They have 346 yards so far, so they are really doing well. They're getting about 13 yards a play right now, so averaging a first down per play. They've had so many explosive plays tonight of 40-plus yards, 6 of 20 or more, and so for Colleyville, stopping right now this attack of Argyle going to be crucial because if you can go into the locker room down 10, you get the ball to start the second half. We'll see what they can do, but what a great design. Bodie Weaver to Trevi Prycha. You can't understate that at the 2-yard line when you need it on third down. Weaver's been excellent in this first half, probably his best half, and he's had some halves. Just pure passing the ball against this Argyle defense, probably his best half of football. And we've said that, we've continued to say that every week for Bodie Weaver, and they're going to need that for sure, continuing to move forward. But 31-21 right now. We'll see what Colleyville does on the kickoff, Tramel.
Yeah, let's see.
So Landon Dressel set to kick this one. Don't know if they're going to kick it deep or not. They do indeed. But deep through the end zone for a touchback. So Argyle, 2:33 to go. They have a pair of timeouts. Each team has a pair of timeouts. In a 31-21 game, Argyle getting 13 yards of play right now. They have 346 yards in the first half. This is their 6th drive of the half. They've scored on their first 5 drives, 4 touchdowns, and a field goal as well. And McGuire Gasperson, the quarterback, comes out there. He's just 7 of 10 tonight. But for 129 yards, they've already rushed for 217.
Wow.
And here is Logan Rexroth on the rush, and he is stopped up. Dax Hebeson, who Jerry Edwards describes as a second coach out there, comes in to make the tackle.
Oh, yeah, as that Mike linebacker, they need him out there with his leadership. He's been phenomenal so far this season.
McGuire Gasperson looking to the sideline. Logan Rexroth, he has 97 yards on the ground already in the first half. But Gasperson back to throw, shot down the field, and it's incomplete. Chase Gibson in the coverage there on Julian Caldwell, the 4-star standout wide receiver and one of the top wideouts in the country in single coverage. Chase Gibson up for the task.
Yeah, that time they hit us with a deep shot. Chase Gibson is in good position. He runs back to the football. I honestly thought they were going to call a pass interference, but looking at that replay, it really wasn't too much there, and the receiver wasn't even arguing either, so you know it really wasn't a pass interference. So great coverage on the play. Now it's 3rd and 7, and this is really the worst situation that the Eagles have faced so far on offense in this entire game. They're backed up in their own territory, and it's 3rd and 7.
They are backed up there. 1:55 to go, and the 2-minute timeout in effect right now. So Argyle, clock would have stopped either way because it was an incomplete pass, but a 2-minute timeout allows them to set up what they want offensively, still with 2 timeouts left. But their running backs tonight have dominated this game in a way that it's hard to believe it's a 10-point game, really. You would think they're... Logan Rexroth has 97 rushing yards. Nathan Bruce has 94. So they have 2 different running backs, number 21 Logan Rexroth, number 8 Nathaniel Bruce, who have each pretty much gone for 100 yards on the ground in this first half. However, Colleyville can now get the ball back. 3rd and 7 awaits here from the 27-yard line.
Biggest play of the half awaits right here.
McGuire Gasperson out of the 2-minute timeout. He looks toward the sideline, and that one is incomplete. So the clock stops. Eli Woldery in the coverage there. Intended target down that sideline for the Argyle Eagles was just beyond reach, and it will force, for the first time tonight, the Eagles to punt and Colleyville to get the ball back. So Panthers getting the ball with a minute, just over 90 seconds left. They'll get the ball back with 2 timeouts and a bad snap. The fumble snap or so does take a really good Argyle bounce.
Wow.
All the way inside the 10 after the snap was a bounce pass. However, there's a flag down on the play as well. So a lot to sort out here. It was a brilliant punt. Colleyville going to have to drive the length of the field. However, the flag was down on the play as well, and it's going to be critical to see who this is on. If Colleyville was offsides, if there was movement up front, Trammell, not sure what you saw.
I thought it was movement up front. And just looking at the
Yes.
reaction, yep, it is.
Illegal formation there, which washes away a great punt. I mean, when you punt the ball almost 65 yards and pin Colleyville back deep the first time, the punter thought he had a night off.
He did.
Colleyville on defense, they haven't got a stop yet tonight. Nathan Bruce, he averages like 45 yards a punt, has a huge leg. And now on 4th down and 12 after the illegal formation, Nathaniel Bruce is back to punt again. This time it is a clean snap. And it's not as good of a punt as well. And it goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So what a break Colleyville gets on the illegal formation that would have set Colleyville up inside their own 10-yard line. 30 yards of field position is granted on that penalty. Bruce still able to punt that ball away with some decent authority. A great punter back there, not to mention he has almost 100 rushing yards tonight. But now Colleyville, buckle up. 90 seconds to go, as we mentioned. And a 1st and 10 for the Panthers, their own 39-yard line.
And this is where they can get dangerous. Expect to see a big play somewhere on this drive.
Well, you see a catch right there. Wow, how did Lucas Sumwall grab that? Just going to be a 5-yard gain, but he dives for the grab as the clock continues to go. Just over a minute to go in the half. Bodie Weaver looking down the sideline, and that one is a foot down there for Colleyville. Connor Supacasey. Official says nope, and it will be 3rd down. What a great ball placement. I mean, Bodie Weaver's been surgical in this first half. Colleyville getting down early. They were down 14-0 really before the offense took their second series. And Weaver's really been forced to pass a lot tonight, but it's worked out pretty well. And now a 3rd down. Weaver, again, completion up to the 46-yard line. Lucas Sunwall once again. 61 seconds on the clock. Can Colleyville punch it in before halftime? Panthers with a pair of timeouts remaining. Gabe Bess in the backfield. Weaver crossed the field. It is caught. Just a pickup of a few yards there on the completion to Connor Supacasey, who has 85 yards receiving in this first half.
Yeah, he's having a great half. Colleyville has 2 timeouts. I'm not sure why they haven't used it, especially on that completion.
And now Weaver does another completion there to the 30-yard line.
Now you have to use it. You have to use
And
it.
Colleyville will call a timeout with 33 seconds left after the Landon Dressel completion. Bodie Weaver with 20 completions in this first half and only 4 incompletions.
And here's one of his completions here. He's looking, he's surveying the field. He has to kind of break out and scramble to the right. He's looking, he might tuck it and run. He decides to throw it at the last minute. He has a wide open receiver, hits him, picks up a nice 1st down, and they'll continue to keep this drive going.
So 33 seconds left, Trammell, 1 timeout. You're at the 30-yard line. For Landon Dressel, when you look at his leg, if you're looking to get points, he's 10 for 11 in his career on field goals. His longest 40 yards. It came a couple years ago. So we shall see what Colleyville will try to do here with 33 seconds left. 1 timeout right before halftime. Points here would be massive for the Panthers. Obviously, you want 6, but even 3 at this juncture could make it a one-score game with getting the ball to start the second half. So, Colleyville, 1st and 10 from the 30. Weaver, tons of pressure, has to get it out to Gabe Bess, and Bess stopped up at the 30-yard line, just 25 seconds left. Colleyville going to try to get back on the ball quickly. Bodie Weaver setting up the troops, still 1 timeout remaining, and Weaver gets the ball, and he throws it over the middle. That one is into the hands of Blake Wendler. Colleyville continuing to go quickly, 7 seconds left, and they'll eventually burn that final timeout.
Yeah, you got to call a timeout there, and you got to send the field goal unit in at this point. Not really a big fan of trying to get a big play or a Hail Mary here at the 20-yard line. Give your kicker a shot. His career high is 40 yards. He's capable of hitting it. You need points here.
This will be a 38-yard try with the ball spotted at the 21. About a 38-yard try upcoming for Landon Dressel. He's 10 of 11 in his career on field goals. Went 3 for 4 as a sophomore. That's when he hit the 40-yarder. Went 4 for 4 last year, but only a 27-yard long. This year, he's 3 for 3. He has hit a 38-yarder here this season already. So he's been precise on field goals throughout his career. But with 6 seconds left, Colleyville going to try to go to the end zone here. They'll have a shot to the end zone and hoping that they can have just a little bit of time left for a field goal try on 3rd down here. Obviously, anything complete that's not a touchdown will end the half. So we'll see what Colleyville will try to do here. And really, any penalty for Colleyville as well would end the half unless it becomes before the snap, and then that would push you even further of what's going to be a lengthy field goal here.
Yeah. So you got to stay disciplined on this play. You really have to be aware of the clock on this one.
So they actually put 9 seconds on the clock now. So they say Colleyville got that timeout in after, and that does kind of change it. Now 9 seconds, you can take a shot toward the end zone. Bodie Weaver dropping back, throws it over the middle. It's caught by Trevi Prycia right down at the 1-yard line, and that will stop the clock for a moment. Colleyville going to try to down it extremely quickly. They do with 1 second left, and they do have a flag come in right at the 11th hour. And it doesn't seem Colleyville was set for a second. The officials will come in. If that's a flag against Colleyville, they'll go to the half down by 10 on what was a great completion, nearly a touchdown for Colleyville, stopped up at the 1-yard line. The clock does stop in high school football on first downs. And so we'll see right here the officials conversing.
Oh, man.
And it looks like they're going to call that flag against Colleyville and make it the end of the half. So a tough finish to the half for Colleyville. They get their first stop of the half, get the ball back, and get down to the 1-yard line. Thought they could have been in a position to then down the ball, but trying to go so quickly, they were not set, get called for the false start, and that's the half ends. They had no timeouts remaining, and that is the fire they played with just 9 seconds left in the half and no timeouts. Any completion that wasn't a touchdown, it's going to be incredibly difficult with 6 seconds. They added a few more, and even with 9, they did get it off. They just weren't set. And you think even if they were set, they would have had to probably burn another second, and they probably wouldn't have got it off anyway. But Colleyville goes into the locker room thinking, man, it really could have been a touchdown deficit, a 7-point game at the break. With us getting the ball back, we would have had a chance to tie the game coming out of halftime with a score. Instead, they're down by 2 scores. They still get the ball to start the second half. But that ending to the first half was incredibly wild there.
It was, but like you said, they're still in this ball game. We talked about it midway through the second quarter. You don't want to go down 17. You got to pick up some momentum and get something going. But we'll see what happens in the second half as we'll take it to halftime.
So halftime now here at Mustang Panther Stadium. Will Connerly, Tramel Jeffers, our entire Tradio crew. Halftime coming up. We will be back with you second half on the other side. We hope to see you then. A 10-point game at the break.
And now the
We're back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio, and I'm Will Connerly alongside Tramel Jeffers, our executive producer Trey Bell, alongside with us tonight here at Mustang Panther Stadium. And a game that, coming in, many expected this to be a battle. Argyle, the reigning district champions, coming off a bye week, fifth-ranked team in the state, went to a state semifinal last year. They've won multiple state championships in recent memory, and one of the most consistent programs in DFW. With Colleyville, on the other hand, second in the district a year ago. They lost the district game in a heartbreaker last week when they were up by 3 scores, and they were up 42-20 in the fourth quarter. They ended up losing that game 43-42 on a last-second field goal. And just coming into this game, you thought, for Colleyville, how were they going to bounce back from the heartbreak of all heartbreaks a week ago? And for Argyle, well-rested off a bye week, how were they going to do that? Not to mention these two teams met last season, one-score game. Same story 2 years ago in the postseason for Colleyville. In the first year under Jerry Edwards a couple of years ago, going and beating them to get to the regional final matchup. But anyway, that is an interesting dynamic with this series. But just in this game alone, 31-21 at half, Tramel, and we have seen 662 total yards in this game. 352 from Argyle, 310 from Colleyville. And the Panthers quarterback, 25 of 31 for 248 yards and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Argyle's ran it for 223 already on the ground. They have 2 backs with nearly 100 yards already each.
Yeah, it's been a classic offensive slug match in this game. And I can't wait to see what's going to come for the second half. Hopefully a lot more Panthers offense and a little less, or a lot less, Argyle Eagles offense in this one.
Well, we are underway here for the second half. We are so thankful you're joining us tonight on Panther Friday night on Tradio. And this second half of action just underway. Colleyville receiving the opening kickoff. We're stopped at the 1-yard line to end the first half. And they were called for not being set, and the false start ended the half, and feeling like they left points on the board. But they're back out there here to start the second half, and it's a carry. Gabe Bess toting the rock to begin the second half. Bess on the night so far. Not too much action for him on the ground, but he picks up a solid carry there. 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 upcoming. Bodie Weaver, super efficient in that first half, and a drop pass at the 40-yard line. Mentioned Bodie Weaver's 25 completions in the first half. He thought he had one there to Connor Supacase here, but it sets up a 3rd down.
Yeah, Bodie Weaver in this one, now he's 25 for 32. and about 3 or 4 of those were drops. I mean, it just showed you how well Bodie Weaver has been and how accurate he's been tonight. He's been fantastic. He's red hot right now. That time, Super Casey just couldn't haul it in.
So a 3rd and 5, Colleyville at their own 43-yard line. Weaver gets rid of it quickly, and he finds his man for a first down. That's Connor Supacasey. He does grab that one. And the Weaver completions tonight off the charts. Like we mentioned, 26 completions in this game already, and a lot of them on critical plays like that on 3rd down. A fresh set of downs for Colleyville. Another quick completion there and breaking a tackle, running up the sideline. Again, finding number 8 in red, Connor Supacasey, approaching 100 yards on the night right now. Connor Supacasey, he moves those chains once again. A couple of first down receptions for Supacasey in this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, they're just trying to get those short passes going because eventually it's going to lead to a bigger play, one of those deep shots.
Weaver rolling out of the pocket, and he hooks up on the sideline here with Landon Dressel. Weaver precise out of the locker room. Colleyville putting up 21 points on the 5th-ranked team in the state, coming off a bye week in the first half. The only bad news is their defense did allow Argyle to score on 5 of 6 drives in the first half, but Colleyville looking good on their opening drive of the second half. Down by 10. Another first down. That was to Landon Dressel. Here's Gabe Bess on the carry, trying to run it straight ahead. Argyle, interesting when we break down the X's and O's of this one. How Argyle defends, they really do leave a lot open on the perimeter. You see a lot of single coverage here on the receivers on the outside. They do like to crowd the box. 3 down linemen. Those linebackers creep forward. We'll see if they can continue to make him creep, as it's another hookup there to Landon Dressel, and he breaks a tackle, continues to run forward. Dressel, he cannot bring him down inside the 10. And Tremel, that was the key to the game tonight. Take what they give you, and Bodie Weaver has done that to a T tonight, seeing where the soft spots are in this Argyle defense. Another completion there to Landon Dressel.
Yeah, like you said, they're allowing a lot on the boundary because of that single coverage, and that's allowing Bodie Weaver to scramble and find those open guys on the outside.
1st and goal from the 9 for Colleyville. Bodie Weaver, time in the pocket, throws it to the end zone. It's incomplete. Looking for Trevi Preisha there. Trevi Preisha, the man who caught the final play of the first half, but he was stopped a yard shy of the end zone and ended up ending the half. Colleyville, not enough time to get a field goal off with no timeouts left. There, they looked for him in the end zone.
Almost had him, but it was great coverage. I can't wait to see what they bring here on 2nd down. They're hitting that outside, those boundaries. I think they'll look for it again.
And there they do look for the touchdown. It is good. Tremel Jeffers, how about that? Bodie Weaver, his 4th touchdown pass of the game. This goes to Connor Supacasey for 9 yards. And Colleyville right back in the ball game.
What did I tell you? Right on the boundary, just pitch and catch. Beautiful fade route by Connor Supacasey. Bodie Weaver with the great touch on the play, puts it right in the bucket, another dime. That is the 4th touchdown for Bodie Weaver in this game. We might see 3 games in a row where he has 6 or more touchdowns.
So 16 touchdowns for Bodie Weaver, passing and rushing combined, over the last 3 games. That would go down as not too shabby for Bodie Weaver.
Oh, no.
His another touchdown pass, and the PAT converted by Landon Dressel. So buckle up. We've got a ball game on our hands here at Mustang Panther Stadium. The Argyle Eagles and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers. Now the question is, can the Panthers get a stop? That was a struggle in the first half. We'll see what 3rd quarter has in store. Argyle to get the ball for the first time in the second half when we come back. Alongside Tramel Jeffers, I'm Will Connerly. Bodie Weaver continues to amaze us every single week. Running the ball last week a lot. Well, he had 3 touchdown passes too and 3 rushing touchdowns a week ago. Tonight, again into the end zone, his 4th touchdown pass. Connor Supacasey's been brilliant tonight. Over 100 yards now on the evening for him. And this is a ball game right now. 31-28. And Colleyville with the short kickoff, and they do recover. Landon Dressel grabs the football, and Colleyville hops on it.
Oh my goodness. The momentum in this game. Oh my goodness. We were talking about how they needed to get down by 10 at halftime. We were down 17, and now, legal 10 yards on the kick, and Colleyville recovers it anyway. And now they have the ball back with a chance to take the lead. They're only down 3 points.
But with the flag, they've now got to re-kick this one. A dagger right there for Colleyville.
Man.
An ultimate high with Landon Dressel, who's been brilliant tonight in all phases. Special teams kicking it away. Colleyville with a surprise onside kick. You felt they probably needed something like that tonight. And instead, they get penalized there on the onside kick, and now you feel Argyle's going to be ready for it, and they probably won't try it now, backed up 5 yards.
Oh, no, not with this team. You can't try it twice. They're too disciplined. They're a great football team. They're going to expect it, so you got to kick it deep and put your defense back on the field. They just got to stop on that first possession. Well, they got to stop to end the first half. Put them back out there, and let's see what they got.
Dressel kicks this one. It's caught at the 36-yard line. And so not opting to kick it deep. Nathan Bruce, of course, and Julian Caldwell. The dangerous return men, and Colleyville opting not to try to work with them, and that will set up good field position. So Colleyville begins the second half with a touchdown drive, and they now make it a 3-point ball game. Argyle, first drive of the second half for them. 5 scoring drives on 6 total drives in the first half. McGuire Gasperson, a handoff up the middle to Logan Rexroth. Logan Rexroth, he had 7 carries for 98 yards in the first half. The 3 there puts him over 100 on the night. So 2nd and 7. Gasperson, he looks and finds a guy. That is Ake O'Neal for the reception. O'Neal, a talented wideout on this squad. Syracuse, Texas Tech, many others looking at the junior wideout, along with the 4-star and Julian Caldwell as well. And the Eagles going no huddle after nearly 400 yards of offense in the first half, and upended there Logan Rexroth with his shortest run of the night. He's getting about 15 yards a carry with a couple of big 40-yard runs, but stopped up there for a yard. 2nd and 9 awaits from the 45-yard line.
Yeah, we're going to have to see more of those type of stops, more of the Panthers in the backfield of the Eagles.
Here's Gasperson, time to throw, and it's Julian Caldwell who breaks a tackle, and the 4-star wideout gets pushed out at the 17-yard line by Joey Nisbet, but Julian Caldwell makes the grab.
And Caldwell on that play just hits a nice stick route. He comes back to the ball, makes a little spin, and he picks up a big first down for the Eagles.
Now it's a rush up the middle here for Logan Rexroth. So Argyle having their way. Go to their talented wide receiver. Ranked the 10th best receiver in the state, according to 24/7 Sports. Number 5, Julian Caldwell. And then another power 4 wide receiver on the other side, and Ake O'Neal. Not to mention all the ground damage and a big rush there. And now Julian Caldwell going for it in a one-handed grab. Julian Caldwell with a great touchdown reception from 9 yards out. It's his 5th touchdown catch of the year. His first 4 came in week 1, and a one-handed snag in the air for the big-time recruit, one of the top receivers in the state. Shows you why right there. And Argyle scores a touchdown on their opening drive of the second half.
That play, great coverage, good defense, just better offense. He snags it with one hand. He's showing you why he has all these offers in his mailbox and why you'll see him playing on Saturdays in the future.
Julian Caldwell, 6'3", 185. Mentioned the mail, 40 offers for Julian Caldwell. Took a visit to Oregon last week, and for the 4-star wide receiver, again, 4 touchdowns in the season opener. He had 10 catches for 263 yards, and all 4 of his touchdowns came in week 1. They all came from 35 yards or more out. That in the red zone, they go to him on single coverage, and he still does the job. And it was a guy who had 581 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns last year, so wasn't a ton of production, but obviously still really good numbers. This offseason's really when he picked up a ton of steam, now just a junior and one of the top receivers in the state, and you think that 4-star recruit is going to continue to get great attention, not just from the opposition, but nationally as one of the best receivers, of course, in the entire country, and he shows it right there on just an acrobatic, what a brilliant catch right there by Julian Caldwell to make it back to a 10-point game. And Argyle kicks this one off. It's caught and running up to the 33-yard line where Colleyville's Blake Wendler gets stopped up. And Colleyville will take it back over. Playing catch-up on the scoreboard tonight because Argyle scored 6 times on 7 drives, including 5 touchdowns. McGuire Gasperson has his first touchdown pass. Their first 4 came on the ground, 1 from Gasperson on their opening drive from 1 yard out. Now it's back to the Panther offense. Bodie Weaver. He's 30 for 38 tonight and 4 touchdowns. 8 incompletions, that's all for Bodie Weaver, and 4 of those have been drops tonight. 1st and 10. And Weaver, going far side. Speaking of an incompletion, he has one there, looking for Connor Supacase, and it's incomplete. Supacase 8 catches for 108 yards tonight, but that one out of his reach.
Yeah, that time he's looking for him again on the sideline. Not really enough space for Supacase to work with, and he just sails it over him.
So 2nd and 10 for Colleyville, down by 10 after Argyle marches down the field on their opening drive. Bodie Weaver keeps it himself. Argyle reads it well, and no yards to gain for Bodie Weaver. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage on that run. So not as much running tonight for Bodie Weaver. We mentioned he kind of turned his ankle at the end of that 4th quarter last week against Mansfield Timberview. Obviously okay, but he's just needed his arm more after Colleyville went down by multiple scores early in the ballgame. And it's been effective, but now a 3rd and 10 awaits for Colleyville.
It has, and that was the game plan for the Eagles, to contain him and keep him from breaking those long runs.
Weaver finds Trevi Preicha. It's going to be right at the line to gain. And a favorable spot for Colleyville up to the 42-yard line. It'll be a 4th and 1 here for Colleyville. And down by 10, 4th and 1 from their own 42 here in the 3rd quarter. Looks like they're certainly going to go for this one with the offense still out there. Lucas Sunwall, Trevi Preicha, Landon Dressel, Connor Supacase, the 4 out wide. Gerard Wiley joins. It's Gabe Bess who joins Bodie Weaver in the backfield, and Colleyville going to burn a timeout here on the 4th and 1 to talk about it a little bit more.
Interesting decision to call a timeout there, but this is a crucial 4th down. You have to pick this up, because if you don't, the Eagles' offense is in the Panthers' territory, and we know how quick they can score. They've proven that they can score on every single drive. Colleyville just hasn't gotten the stops tonight. You have to pick up this 1st down here, but also by calling the timeout, it might hurt you later on down the line in the game with a close ball game.
Yes.
So that was a precious timeout, but you got to pick up the first down here. You burned the timeout, pick it up here.
So 4th and 1 from your own 42. Bodie Weaver tonight, not a ton of production on the ground. He's done a monstrous game so far with his arm, 4 touchdown passes and over 300 yards in the air. What does Colleyville do here on 4th and 1? Obviously, feel like this is a must pick up with just how well Argyle's offense is playing.
Well, they're coming out in the shotgun, so I'm assuming it's going to be some type of Bodie Weaver design run, or you might see a RPO run-pass option here as well.
Gabe Best joins Weaver in the backfield. Weaver does take it himself, and he picks up the first down. And as Bodie Weaver does, it'll take a whole gang of Eagles to bring him down, and he eventually gets to the 49-yard line. So a 7-yard pickup on 4th and 1 keeps the drive alive for Colleyville. Wes Dalio-Cubic lost his helmet on the play, and the Division I left tackle, who's going to UTEP with Bodie Weaver next year, will have to come out of the game for a play. Gabe Bess in the backfield. Number 1 and number 11 interchangeably in the backfield. This time it's Gabe Bess, who does have a little hole up the middle. A 4-yard gain for Gabe Bess. Wes Dalio-Cubic going to step back into the ball game.
Back-to-back plays where the Colleyville Heritage Panthers offensive line is getting a little bit of push. I know it was only a 4-yard gain, but really haven't seen much success in the run game at all. But those 4 yards are big as we see a 2nd and 6 here.
From the 47-yard line, Bodie Weaver over the middle looking for Trevi Preicha, and it's too high.
Yeah, that time Bodie Weaver just overshot him by a little bit. Preicha was able to get his hands on it, but he couldn't snag it down. That's one that Bodie Weaver will want back.
He's been very precise tonight, but that one a little elevated. So Bodie Weaver and Gabe Bess will be in the backfield with a 4-out wide set. Connor Supacasey, Landon Dressel to the top, Trevi Preicha, Lucas Sunwall to the bottom of your screen for the 4 wide receivers. 3rd and 6 for Colleyville. Weaver looking the way of Sunwall, and the pass is low. That'll set up a 4th and 6 for Colleyville, and another must-get first down opportunity here as they face a 4th and 6 and trying to avoid turning it over on downs for a 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, the pressure got there in the backfield. Weaver had to get rid of it. It's low. Now it's 4th down.
And it looks like Weaver's going to drop back to punt this one away. And it's a short punt. And it will be Argyle who will have the ball at the 37-yard line, where they're going to start with it. So Colleyville on 4th and 6 punted away, but not getting too many yards on that punt. And Argyle, not that they need much help tonight with over 350 yards of offense.
We talked about it the entire season, how well the Panthers' defensive line has been and how they've gotten pressure on the quarterbacks. But tonight, their inability to stop the run has kept the Eagles from throwing the ball a lot.
Here's Logan Rexroth on the run. He is tackled, Demarius Logan there to drag him down. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 7. Just a 10.2 score ball game. But Argyle, it's been a struggle to stop them tonight. Six of 7 drives, they put points on the board. McGuire Gasperson hooks up with his wide out there on the sideline. It's Micah De Leon who makes the grab. He had a huge play on the opening drive of the game.
Here on this play, a design quarterback rollout. The receiver's going to run an out route, and he picks up a first down.
There is Rexroth, just picks up 2. So an 11-yard punt for Colleyville put Argyle in great field position, already in Colleyville territory, up by 10. Late third quarter. Logan Rexroth, the running back. They've bottled him up better here in the second half, after he was running all over the yard in the first half. And Gasperson, plenty of time. Here's Julian Caldwell, and it's a good play made in the secondary by Chase Gibson.
Yeah, great play by Chase Gibson. He was with him step by step, and he gets the pass breakup as well. And this third quarter is brought to you by our sponsor, Classic Chevrolet. We want to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's football game.
All season long, Panther Friday night on Tradia. Third down and 8 yards to go. We'll see if Colleyville brings some pressure. They've had a lot of success blitzing their linebackers this season. Most notably, the middle linebacker, Joey Nisbet. Gasperson does have the blitz come. Nisbet comes through. That's incomplete. The blitz does bring the pressure, and in the coverage there for Colleyville was Eli Woolery. It's incomplete, and Colleyville picks up a stop. Just their second time tonight, forcing the special teams unit to come out, and Nathan Bruce will come punt.
Wow, back-to-back incompletions. That's something we hadn't seen this entire game. Maybe that can shift some momentum for the Panthers on that defensive side. Maybe that gives them that confidence boost that they need, and maybe we'll see a big play when they get back there on that next drive.
So forcing the punt after Colleyville just had an 11-yard punt. Nathan Bruce can really boot it back there, their punter. And he kicks this one away. And it trickles into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, smart decision to let that ball bounce and go into the end zone. I'm glad he didn't fair catch it, because we would have been stuck inside our own 5-yard line. But he lets it wisely bounce in the end zone. And Colleyville will have some comfortable breathing room as they'll start at the 20-yard line.
20-yard line, they are down by 10. And Colleyville on 4th and 6 deciding to punt. Now, not the punt that they wanted. They weren't able to flip the field, so to speak. But the defense comes out and gets a stop, keeping them in this ball game, just down by 2 scores. Under 4 to go in the third quarter. Bodie Weaver steps up in the pocket and eventually gets pushed down. He is sacked behind the line of scrimmage. In pursuit on that rush there of Bodie Weaver, Reno Herman was able to stop down Bodie Weaver behind the line of scrimmage.
He's going to have to come out the game. His helmet came off, so you have to come out for at least one play, and he looks a little shaken up. But he's fine as he's putting his helmet back on. But he's got to come out for one play. Interesting decision here is, I know it's 2nd and 11. You really don't want to just hand the ball off and really pick up nothing. You might want to take a shot. You're down 10. You might have to throw it.
Harrison Roberts is going to just do a handoff and make it third down and about 7 yards to go. Bodie Weaver comes back after the rush by Gabe Bess. So Colleyville will go an empty set. 4 receivers and the tight end out there for 3rd and 7. 3rd and about 7 or 8 you have out there from their own 23-yard line. And so Weaver, after being out for a play, back into the ballgame. Bodie Weaver is going to take it and run. Weaver staying on his feet just across the 25-yard line. And it is the speedy Argyle linebackers who come in to make the play. On that stop, it is Brody Bomar, but a flag comes in after the fact. And now the officials having a discussion. Obviously against Argyle, would extend the drive. If not, it would force already a situation where Colleyville was going to punt to be even more difficult, and it looks like Colleyville knows the direction this one's going. They're starting to back up.
Man, those linebackers for the Eagles are really, really fast. I mean, they've done a fantastic job all game of keeping Bodie Weaver in a bracket. They've got the spy out on him. They're not letting him get those explosive runs tonight. They refuse to allow it to happen. Bodie Weaver has to work for every single yard that he's gotten tonight.
And the personal foul will force Landon Dressel to come out and punt from his own end zone. Here in a 10-point ball game, 2.5 on the clock in the third. And Dressel, high snap, has to get the punt off. And it rolls to about the 47-yard line where Argyle will take over in positive field position. They will start with a short field in Colleyville territory.
We want to say thank you to our team meal sponsor of the week, Wise Guys Pizzeria.
Thanks for keeping our Panthers well fed. Team meal sponsor of the week, and Colleyville looking for another stop defensively. Camden Blackson eventually able to bring down Logan Rexroth, but not before he picks up 10 yards. That moves the chains for the Eagles. Two minutes to go in the third quarter, 1st and 10 for Argyle. Another handoff to Rexroth. He is stopped up. Does pick up about 4 yards on the carry. Joey Nisbet in on the tackle. So second down. 6 yards to go. Argyle has it at the 34-yard line. And Colleyville showing the blitz. Looks like they jumped off early and did not allow McGuire Gasperson. Flags flying from either boundary. Looks like Colleyville jumped off early, and that will make a 2nd and 6, a 2nd and 1, as the Panthers get penalized there for jumping off early.
Yeah, you just can't have that. You're shooting yourself in the foot.
So McGuire Gasperson and Logan Rexroth. Rexroth's been brilliant tonight carrying the football. Over 100 yards on the ground, most of that in the first half. And 2nd and just a couple. Gasperson going to get rid of it quickly. And it's pushed out inside the 20-yard line once again. There you go to the outside, and find a guy who hadn't had much time this year, Micah DeLeon, but he's had a big night tonight, and Argyle in the red zone.
He is, and it's real simple tonight. Playing soft coverage, let's get those quick passes out, and you do the rest with the yards after the catch, and that's exactly what they've been doing all game long, with the big plays after.
So Argyle, 38 points on the board for them tonight. And they look for more. They've had points on 6 of 7 drives in this game, including 5 touchdowns. They're in the red zone once again. As McGuire Gasperson looks to the sideline. Logan Rexroth standing next to him. It'll be a quick out to DeLeon, and he is pushed out at the 11-yard line. A pickup of about 5 on the play.
Now they're starting to approach that territory where those short passes really won't hurt you anymore. So just stay in front of everything and make sure you make the tackle.
Gasperson will keep it himself. McGuire Gasperson lunges inside the 10, down at the 8. It will set up a 3rd and short. Just about 2 to go on this 3rd down. The Eagles have it at Colleyville's 8-yard line.
Big 3rd down play here. Your attention should be on Julian Caldwell. All attention should be on his side.
Logan Rexroad also in the backfield alongside McGuire Gasperson. Playbook open on 3rd and short. They can run or pass it. Caldwell, as you mentioned, bottom of your screen, single coverage with Chase Gibson. And a timeout is called. Looks like Argyle burning one of their 3 timeouts as well here in a 10-point game with 13 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Keep it a 2-score game if you hold them to a field goal here.
Yep, that's the big key right here. Gotta hold them to a field goal. A field goal won't hurt you, but if you could find a way to create a turnover, that would be major. It's time for somebody on that Panthers defense to make a play. Demarius Logan, he's been making plays all year long. It's time. He's been pretty quiet in this one. I look forward to seeing him making some type of play some point in this game. He's a big-time player, so he'll wake up maybe in that 4th quarter.
13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Panther Friday night on Tradio sees Argyle with the football, a 3rd and 2. They have it at the 8-yard line. Colleyville looking to force the Eagles to a field goal try. Gasperson with the hard count, eventually hands to Rexroad. Rexroad turns up the field. He's got the 1st down. So a fresh set of downs inside the 5-yard line for Argyle. Really strong and physical up front. That is the end of the quarter.
We want to give a special shout out to our 4th quarter sponsor, and that is J. Caldwell Pools. Thank you for being J. Caldwell Custom Pools. We want to thank you for being a sponsor for our football broadcast.
A shout out to the Custom Pools for sure, and we will switch sides and be back in a moment. 4th quarter on the other side, 10-point ball game.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business, or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all accounts subject to approval.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Back with you for the beginning of the 4th quarter. The Argyle Eagles leading Colleyville 38-28 as we start the final quarter of this one from Mustang Panther Stadium. Colleyville's offense, it's been a positive tonight. Bodie Weaver, brilliant 4 touchdown passes, but the defense have not found answers of trying to slow this Argyle attack down. They are threatening once again, just inside the 5-yard line. So the Eagles threatening to go up by 3 scores. Colleyville desperately trying to stay on this ball game, and one way they can is if they hold Argyle to a field goal. Right as we are about to start the 4th quarter, both teams head to their respective sidelines. Not sure why. Water break, perhaps an issue with the clock, not sure. Both teams with a brief moment on the sideline. And so Argyle, you would think 3 plays to try to punch it in. But if you're Colleyville and you can't hold them to a field goal, you're still in this ballgame. I mean, we've got pretty accustomed to knowing you're still in the ballgame even down 3 scores. I mean, last week is a great example of that.
Yeah, still plenty of ball game left, still plenty of time.
Will be a handoff right up the middle, and Nathan Bruce runs it in for a touchdown as he just plunges right through the defense of Colleyville, and he finds the end zone once again. The big, powerful back runs it in for a score. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. Back-to-back games for Nathaniel Bruce with 3 rushing touchdowns, and he puts Argyle up 44-28 with the point after pending. Stebbins for the point after. It's true. Through the uprights, Argyle now in control, 45-28, as Nathaniel Bruce rushes for the score. Now it's time for Colleyville really working against the clock, down 45-28, albeit just the beginning of the 4th quarter. Plenty of time left. With the way the Argyle offense has gone, they've had to play catch-up all night long.
Yeah,
We're down 14-0 to begin the ball game, and that deficit is hard to overcome right now for Colleyville.
It is, but we talked about it earlier in that first half. It doesn't take long for either one of these sides to score. So Colleyville is more than capable of hitting you with some big plays and getting on that scoreboard quick. I think the offense can get something going here, but it's going to have to be quick. They're going to have to work with that clock. They're going to have to do a lot of no huddle, a lot of up-tempo, and they might have to abandon the run. The run hasn't been successful tonight with the quarterback or with the running backs. So they're probably going to have to be one-dimensional, unfortunately, with the clock.
This kickoff return caught at the 35-yard line, break it away with some space. A man who's been dynamic in the receiving game tonight, Connor Supacase. And he takes it into Argyle territory. And one big inflection point in this game is the end of the first half. Colleyville had a chance to make it a 1-score game. They were down 10, stopped at the 1-yard line, unable to get the final snap off before half to either kick a field goal or try for the end zone again, whatever they were going to do. Instead, they go to the locker room down 10, but then they score a touchdown to begin the second half. It's 31-28, and they recover an onside kick. So they had the ball down 3, but the onside kick was washed away because there was a flag on the kickoff, and then Argyle went down and scored to make it 38-28. They score again, 45-28, the score we have now. And a catch over the middle, a 9-yard gain right there. Looks like an Eagle is shaken up on the play as well.
Oh, man.
Nathan Bruce, their standout linebacker, who has 3 rushing touchdowns tonight. Believe he is the one down on the field.
Yeah, that was Nathan Bruce on that play. Bodie Weaver hits his receiver here on a slant. The RPO fake to Best. There he is. He releases the ball, hits his receiver in stride down the middle. He runs into a brick wall. But Bruce looked to be on the worst end of the stick, as looks like he hit his head. But he's up. He's walking off the field. He looks to be okay. But he might have a concussion after that one.
So a tough hit by Bruce, who has 6 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games, 3 tonight and 3 a couple of weeks ago. And a standout all-district linebacker as well heads to the sideline. They're also without Grayson Peschel tonight, one of their top linebackers and a senior. And so that linebacking core for Argyle, a little bit depleted. 2nd and 1 for Colleyville. They have it at the 33, and it is Gabe Bass who gets enough for the first down, picks up a couple yards.
And you got to hustle. You got to play fast. You got to bring that fast tempo offense. Okay, they break out the huddle quick.
Fresh set of downs at the 30-yard line for the Panthers. Moving quickly. Bodie Weaver steps up in the pocket, breaks a tackle. Still has space up the field. Weaver dives for the end zone. It's a touchdown. Bodie Weaver with a 30-yard rushing score, and he has 5 touchdowns tonight. Wow.
There he is. And that's why he is Bodie Weaver, bobbing and weaving the tackles. Makes another great highlight run. Picks up a 30-yard touchdown. That is his 4th total touchdown. Excuse me, his 5th total touchdown of the game. And that is 17 in the last 3 games. Yes, you heard it correctly. 17 total touchdowns in the last 3 games. We still have 11 minutes left to play.
Well, Bodie Weaver's an absolute warrior, and after that play, he was down in the end zone, a little bit shaken up. We saw that at the end of the game in the 4th quarter last week, and Bodie Weaver was down in the end zone. He tried to get up for a moment and immediately went back down, then had some of his teammates try to stretch out his right leg. Perhaps a cramp at the end of that run, because now he is on the sideline and walking on his own power, as the point after is good. But Bodie Weaver, as you mentioned it, his 5th touchdown he's accounted for tonight. He had 6 touchdowns in each of the past 2 games and heads to the sideline after a brilliant run to keep Colleyville in this ball game. Just 11:05 to go in the 4th quarter, and it's a 10-point game, just Colleyville down by 2 scores right now after another great play made by Bodie Weaver. We thank you to our football boosters and our diamond sponsors here during this ball game tonight. Obviously, some great sponsors helping support this broadcast. J. Caldwell Pools, Texas Orthopedics, Classic Chevrolet, Compass Church for each quarter tonight. And they're getting a ball game that has seen plenty of points and more to go. If we were betting on this one, 45-35 and 11:05 to go still in the 4th quarter after Bodie Weaver runs for a score. Made a man miss on that run as well. Obviously was not looking to run. Hadn't seen him take off like that once tonight, and he does. And again, was down after the play in the end zone for a bit, got up. Appears to be okay and puts Colleyville in this one, just down by 2 scores now once again.
Yeah, that was the first time where he really had a leeway to run. That time he just caught the Eagles defense slipping. The first time they slipped this entire game, they were pretty disciplined the whole way through until that 30-yard run.
Here's Julian Caldwell on the return. And Colleyville able to stop him. Looked like Caldwell had to make sure he held tightly onto the ball at the end of that play. Good kick coverage there by Ryan Lloyd to stop the big-time wide receiver, who does have a great touchdown grab tonight. Looks like for Bodie Weaver, training staff is tending to him as he's sitting down on the near sideline on the Panther bench. Look like they're working on that right leg of Weaver. But it's Logan Rexroth on the carry, and he has space. A struggle to bring him down tonight. It looked like they had him for a loss, and he's still able to pick up a dozen yards for a first down.
Yeah, they had him right there wrapped up in the backfield. He just got away, misses a tackle, and he picks up another big first down. He's big, he's physical, he's powerful. It is so hard to take him down. And tonight, the story of the game for him has been yards after contact.
He has 144 yards tonight, and he's getting about 10 yards per carry. Rexroth being fed once again. And stopped up just across the 40-yard line. Logan Rexroth, 17 attempts now after that carry. Tonight he picks up 5 there. 2nd and 5 here in the 4th quarter. You would expect a lot of runs for Argyle, up by 2 scores.
And why not? I mean, they've pretty much had their way. You continue to run the ball, you run the clock. And that keeps Colleyville's offense off the field because they don't want to see that offense. That offense has had a lot of success tonight as well.
280 rushing yards for Argyle. They look for more. Logan Rexroth finds a block on the edge, and he picks up enough for another first down as the Eagles approach Colleyville territory up to midfield. Just a pickup of 9.
Yeah.
Easy for Logan Rexroth.
If you're Colleyville, you got to get a negative play somewhere. You got to get in the backfield, get a loss for 2, get a loss for 3. You have to. You can't allow them to keep picking up 5, 6, 10, 12. Got to get a stop.
Gasperson brings Ake O'Neal in motion, and now Gasperson, time back to pass down the field. 3 defenders there, but somehow the grab is made by Julian Caldwell, and it's a touchdown. A 40 or 51-yard score for Julian Caldwell, his second touchdown of the night, 6th of the season. And one of the top receivers in the Lone Star State continues to show us why in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely see that highlight all over social media. In triple coverage, Julian Caldwell is showing you why he's one of the best wide receivers, not only in the district, but the state of Texas and in the country. He showed you why he has 40 Division I offers in his mailbox. And the point after attempt is no good. So the Panthers are still in this ball game. They're down 2 scores as they trail 51-35. So they're still in it. It's not over yet. Still plenty of time left in this ball game with 9:03 left.
51 points on the board, but you're right. That's a critical missed PAT there because, yes, in theory, I mean, not even in theory, in reality, when you're down by just 2 scores, a score and a stop, and you're right back in at 16 points, obviously 2-point conversions now. If you get to the point where you have a chance to get 6, got to go for 2 and get it twice, but that's monumental for Colleyville, at least in the mindset of, okay, we're down 2 scores, and we'll see what they can do here. Man, just coming out of the locker room, down 10, they score, they're down 3. You thought they had an onside kick, but a flag to then go down 16, but still feel like there's fight because the way Colleyville's offense has moved the football.
Yeah.
And they're going to be getting it back here, down by 16 points. And return game tonight, just up to about the 38-yard line where Colleyville will start out. But Julian Caldwell, I mean, you said triple coverage. It felt like the entire secondary was paying attention back there to Julian Caldwell. Gasperson had time, no pressure on the quarterback, and he lets one fly to, as you mentioned, the big-time recruit, Julian Caldwell, and he makes Colleyville pay for that with a just huge 51-yard score for a touchdown.
And he also put it right on the money. We raved about the catch that Caldwell had on that play, but what a throw by the quarterback, Gasperson, as well. In triple coverage, put it right in the bucket, right on the money, right on target.
So Bodie Weaver is back out there after the 30-yard rushing touchdown. He was shaken up after the play. He finds Gabe Bess. He was able to get out of bounds. Picks up just a few on the catch by the halfback. And the clock has a halt at 8:51. Colleyville down by 16 with the football. And a pickup of 2 sets up a 2nd and 8 from the 39-yard line. Weaver's had a great night. A handoff to Bess. And he lunges just to the 44-yard line. So a good gain there to set up 3rd and manageable. Obviously 4-down territory for Colleyville with 8.5 to go in the 4th quarter. And a 3rd down awaits for Colleyville. What do the Panthers do here? It's Bodie Weaver back to pass. And now he flips it there to Gabe Bess, but he couldn't hang on to the rock. And it's incomplete. Xavier Zamzo, the defensive back, came in and applied the hit as Gabe Bess tried to pull it down. And that makes it 4th and 5 Feels like the game is on the line here for Colleyville.
Yeah, this will pretty much do it here if Colleyville doesn't pick up the first down. This is the biggest fourth down play of the game.
There's been a lot of them tonight for the Colleyville offense, but a lot hinges on this fourth down. About 4 yards to gain. Weaver over the middle, and it's intercepted. Taken away by Nathan Bruce. Nathaniel Bruce bringing this one back. And a pick six for Nathaniel Bruce, who went out of the game last drive. What looked like head-to-head contact, he was shaken up. Instead, a man who has 3 rushing touchdowns tonight adds a pick six, and Argyle adds on. They lead 57-35.
Wow, Nathaniel Bruce is a heck of an athlete. Wonderful running back, fantastic linebacker. 4 total touchdowns in this game. 3 on offense, 1 on defense. He's had a huge impact on this game for the Argyle Eagles.
A 60-yard pick six, returns it 60 to the end zone. And Nathaniel Bruce, 3 rushing touchdowns for the Argyle Eagles and a pick six as well to put them up 58-35. Bodie Weaver had to throw it on fourth down. It was into the hands of Nathaniel Bruce for a touchdown. And that one certainly hurt. You felt if Colleyville could keep that drive alive, score, keep it, it would have been down to a 1-score game. And now a mountain to climb for the Panthers with 8:06 to go in the fourth quarter.
Still plenty of time left, but you got to get some big plays. You still got to, it's still a lot of time left, 8 minutes, but you got to get big plays if you want a chance at a comeback. If it's going to be dink and dunk, then there's no shot.
So Colleyville trailing 58-35. A 23-point deficit. A 3-score game and short kick picked up by the Panthers eventually around the 25-yard line. That kickoff well executed, and the ball is out. Looks like it's going to be called down, though. And Colleyville will retain the possession. A short dribbling kickoff that the Panthers eventually picked up. Will not have great field position here with under 8 minutes to go, down by 23. We'll see what they can do. They were down by multiple scores a year ago at Argyle. Finished up as a 1-score game because they recovered multiple onside kicks and scored on those. Feels like that's what the doctor would need to order tonight if Colleyville wants to get back in this ball game. It's a handoff to Colin Bennett. He runs just across the 30-yard line, so a good pickup. It's Colleyville not fully abandoning the run, despite the 23-point deficit in the fourth quarter. Now Weaver has the snap, and it's out to Colin Bennett once again. Runs across the 40-yard line up to the 42. So the Panthers pick up a first down. A couple of touches for Colin Bennett, the feature back here on this drive so far. And now Weaver will keep it himself and just have to fall down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like the play stopped for a moment.
Yeah, I thought the play stopped. I wasn't sure what was going on.
So Weaver just stopped at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for Colleyville. Weaver has solid protection. Hits a man over the middle. That is there to Lucas Sunwall, and he lunges up to the 38-yard line. A good pickup there. Colleyville obviously needing to go quick with 6:50 on the clock. Here in the fourth quarter, down 23, but driving. Weaver out in the flat again. And across the 35-yard line. It's Colin Bennett, his third touch here on this drive. A lot of Gerard Wiley and Gabe Bess, but it's Colin Bennett who's getting opportunities here in the fourth, and another short hit out to Bennett. He moves inside the 30-yard line. That'll be another first down for the Panthers.
And the Eagles are going to give these short passes to the Panthers every single time. The clock is on their side. They don't want to give up a big play. And it's really not much open downfield, so kind of have to dink it and dunk it.
Now Weaver, he gets sacked in the backfield. Coming up to make the tackle, Calamo, and sacks Bodie Weaver. It's a loss on the play. 58-35. Argyle and Colleyville both have moved the ball quite nicely tonight. Both teams approaching 500 yards each of total offense. 471 so far for Argyle. 450 total yards for Colleyville. Gabe Bess in the game. Bodie Weaver dancing in the pocket, and he gets sacked once again. That's Calamo, and with back-to-back sacks for Argyle. And it'll set up a 4th and a mile.
The edges for the Eagles do a really good job of pushing those tackles back into the backfield, forcing Bodie Weaver to have to step up in the pocket, and then those tackles, defensive tackles, they shed off their blocks, and they finish the job.
We'll check that 3rd and 18 for Colleyville after the back-to-back sacks. Calamo and number 97 for Argyle getting both of them. Now Weaver rolling out. He'll run it himself, and he's stopped up at the 30-yard line. So he picks up 5. It'll set up a 4th and long here. 13 yards to go on this 4th down. We'll see what the Panthers can do. Connor Supakase comes out of the ball game. Hayden West is going to check in.
Here on 4th and 13, you have to take some type of shot. Time isn't on your side. You need points. You need to score. You need a big play desperately.
So Weaver looks down the field, and it's a one-handed interception there by Argyle. Another pickoff, this time coming from Gage Wilson. What a great interception on the sideline by Wilson. And that seems like it'll conclude tonight's affair and evaporate any hope that Colleyville would have in making a miraculous comeback, because Argyle gets the ball back with 4 minutes left, up by 23 as they intercept Bodie Weaver once again. Hard to put a lot of blame on Bodie Weaver with really no protection there, and then he has to throw it, Trammell, on 4th and 13, and Argyle comes up with a play, and it's another night where Bodie Weaver plays out of his mind, but the Panthers going to come up on the short end of the stick here. 6 touchdowns last week in a losing effort, and tonight 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 rushing, and the same result. Colleyville going to fall short as Argyle runs the football here. Nice tackle made by the Panthers' Joey Nisbet, but a tough sequence there for Colleyville.
Yeah, Weaver played a really, really good game. Those 2 interceptions came at a time where you really have to kind of force the issue. I feel like if the game was closer, those interceptions aren't made, but you're kind of in desperation mode. So that's why he threw the 2 picks. But whenever your quarterback throws the ball 50-plus times, it's never a good recipe.
Handoff up the middle. Colleyville eventually coming to make the tackle, a gain of a few yards on the run. This is Obadiah Goebel, the senior running back. It's mainly been Logan Rexroad, a little Nathaniel Bruce tonight, or I guess a lot. He has 3 rushing touchdowns. Now Obadiah Goebel there, just his 2nd carry of the night. It's 3rd down. 4 yards to go. Argyle taking their time. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Clock moving here in the 4th quarter. And Argyle on top. timeout called by the Eagles. Play clock was getting down to 3 seconds, and the Eagles want to burn a timeout. Set up this 3rd and 4, which, as you mentioned, throwing the ball over 50 times, really difficult ask for your quarterback. And a big thing coming in was, could they get more things going on the ground outside of Bodie Weaver? But tonight, he's thrown it 51 times, but he's also run it 15 times.
He has.
So pretty much all your offensive plays, and it's understandably so, you give it to your best player, but you're asking him to do a lot, and he has done a lot. But it's hard to overcome 58 points on the scoreboard, and despite 364 passing yards for Bodie Weaver, over 400 total yards of offense for the senior quarterback, and 5 total touchdowns, you'd think, if you signed us up for over 400 yards total for Bodie Weaver and 5 touchdowns, you like your chances in any ball game. But Argyle really just pounded the rock, and when they've run it for over 300 yards, it's just really hard. They've broken down this Colleyville defense. Obadiah Goebel on a run there. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 4th down. And the Eagles can take this down to the 2-minute timeout. Unless Colleyville burns a timeout. Doesn't look like they want to do that. Thought perhaps they could have taken a timeout on the plus side of the 2-minute. But instead, they'll take it down to the 2-minute timeout. 58-35 the score. And a ball game that we expected a fantastic game, and we've really have got a lot of brilliant plays. I mean, Julian Caldwell tonight. We featured the quarterbacks, a couple of Division I commits at the beginning of this ball game. McGuire Gasperson heading to UTSA for Argyle, and the senior quarterback in Bodie Weaver heading to UTEP. We showed you that at the beginning of the ball game, and those 2 guys have come to play tonight. You think the quarterbacks are doing well in this high scoring of affair, but at least for Argyle, it's been more of the running game that has done the damage against the Panthers. And Bodie Weaver, he's accounted for 5 more touchdowns tonight, 21 total on the season. He's really in a great rhythm, but for the Panthers, it's really tough. Some great stuff on both sides, but this Argyle offense was just too much to slow down.
Yeah, it was too much, and they show you why they're the best team in the district. They proved it tonight. Colleyville isn't too far off, but there's some work to do to get to the level that Argyle is on right now.
It's true. I mean, Argyle's a team that went undefeated in district play last year en route to a state semifinal appearance, ranked 5th in the state right now. And you can see why. A guy like Ake O'Neill, he'd be the leading receiver on most teams in the state. Tons of Division I offers, but Julian Caldwell, I mentioned 4-star standout. He's got 2 touchdown grabs tonight, both brilliant. And then the running backs, they've got 2 running backs, each over 100 yards. Nathan Bruce, 3 touchdowns. Logan Rexroad has run it all over you as well. It was just hard to slow down this Argyle running attack. They just gashed Colleyville up the gut, off tackle to the edge, and the Panthers did not have an answer, and so they will head into the bye week with a bad taste in their mouth. Back-to-back games where, at least when you look back on this one for Colleyville, it's obviously a what-if game because they're down 10 going into halftime when they were stopped at the 1-yard line. You get a touchdown there, you're down 3 going into halftime. I know that's a what-if, but they were at the 1-yard line as time expired in the first half. Say you're down 3, okay, or even 7 if they got a field goal. They come out first drive, second half, and score. You're then either having the lead or tied if you would have had points on the board in the form of a field goal or touchdown at the end of the first half. They still had a touchdown, and they made it to a 3-point game. It was 31-28, Colleyville down 3. They kick it off and thought they had that onside kick. That would have been a huge shift in this game for Colleyville to have the ball down 3. But they never got the ball in a position where they were down by a score tonight. As soon as they touched the ball tonight, they were down 2 scores. And this offense is bound down at least 2 scores every time they touched it, other than their first 2 drives of the game. First drive of the game, they're down in this one 7-0. Second time they touch it, they're down again 14-0. And they were down 2 scores every time they touched the ball tonight until they were able to punch it into the end zone and make it a 3-point game. But then when they got it back, they were down 2 scores again. It was just hard for this offense playing catch-up all night, and you have to think that really affects the way that whole playbook is going to operate as well. Down 2 scores the whole night. You're going to throw it a lot, and they did. Bodie Weaver, 51 passing attempts. He throws for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was just really hard on both ends, and it's hard to win a ball game when you give up nearly 60 points as well.
Oh, yeah. They just never got Argyle uncomfortable. Like you said, they only got it to a 1-score game one time, and as soon as the Eagles got the ball back, they score and make it a 10-point game again. So they were just playing catch-up the entire game, and you can't play like that. We said it early. It was important for them to get out to a fast start and keep pace, but they weren't able to tonight. And unfortunately, they fall to 2-3.
They do indeed, as they've dropped back-to-back district games. It's now 58-35, a final score. Argyle wins this one. They're now 2-0 in district play, in Colleyville will have the final stretch of district action coming up. They'll take on Everman on the road, not next week, a bye next week. So back-to-back losses heading into a bye week. They'll be at Everman on the 10th of October. That's when we'll talk to you next. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. For our executive producer, Trey Bell, and my partner, Tramel Jeffers, I'm Will Connerly saying so long from Mustang Panther Stadium. Argyle wins it. Final score of 58-35.